Joe Rogan Podcast, check it out.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan Podcast by night, all day.
And we are now live. Jeff Ross, this is the first time we have ever done a live podcast from the Comedy Store, and it's with you, buddy.
I feel like we're in Hitler's bunker.
Do you? It doesn't. I think Hitler's bunker is probably not as well lit. Definitely didn't have the sound dampening. That's how you know it's a real podcast studio. They have this shit.
The sound dampening
Dampening stuff.
I think this is cool, though. It's in the color of the Comedy Store. You got the old sign.
Old Comedy Store sign in the background. And we figured, fuck it. We're here all the time. Usually I'm just here hanging around after. Why not do a podcast? Have some fun.
I love it. Hi, everybody. What's up?
Everybody.
Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. So tell me about your fucking show. Tell your roast battle is on Comedy Central.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Started out in the belly room. You know, you came.
Fucking great. It's one of the reasons why I came back to the store. When I came to see that show in the belly room, I was like, wow. It was the day before Ari filmed his special, and I hadn't been to the store in 7 years.
I remember.
I came here.
I saw you at the Improv that night.
Yeah.
I'd been seeing you at the Improv around, and I kept talking about it.
That's where I was doing sets.
And I kind of made it a personal mission to bring you back to the Comedy Store.
Oh, sweetie.
And Roast Battle was the bait.
Well, Roast Battle definitely helped, too, also because it was so electric. I was like, man, there's something going on in this place.
Dude, I love doing the show so much, and the comics love doing it. It's the only competition show where comics who aren't even on the show come to watch other comics.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's one of the rare shows where comics come to watch other comics.
We're shooting in the old House of Blues across the street. They're knocking it down in a couple weeks and building condos forever. Very historic building.
It's kind of crazy.
So our producer, Joel Gallen, had the idea to go in there, pull the stage out, clean it up. There was like all kinds of stuff living in there. And we built our Roast Battle arena inside the old House of Blues for 4 nights. Wow. I can't believe this is happening.
That's crazy.
It's like, you know, the early days of wrestling or fighting or something.
I can't believe they're turning into condos.
That stuff's hard to realize that that's what we're going to have across the street, but maybe it'll be good in some way.
Well, I bet a lot of comics are just going to get a fucking apartment there. If you can afford it, that'd be amazing. Stumble out of bed, walk
I didn't even
across the
think
street.
About that.
Yeah. Why not live there?
Huh.
I mean, come on, man. It'd be the greatest. And if you have a reluctant girl, you know, you're trying to meet a young lady, and you're like, come on back to my place. Well, I mean, I'm getting kind of tired. Listen, baby, it's just across the street.
Yeah, you're
I
there.
live right
We're already
here.
there.
Come on over.
Maybe it'll
okay,
be good.
Jeff. I mean, you are kind of funny, and I just want you to know I'm not that kind of girl.
Well, we'll play ping pong over in my rec room.
Ping pong's a good one to play. Everyone thinks they know how to play foosball, right?
I don't know. Do they?
Yeah, a lot of drunk people think they know how to play that one.
Oh, foosball.
Yeah, you know that
Right,
thing.
yeah.
Like nobody knows how to play ping pong. Like a few people do, but they're assholes.
I have 2 Chinese cousins, and they're very good at ping pong.
China and ping pong go together for some reason.
Is that video? Has anyone seen that video of Bruce Lee hitting
With the nunchucks?
Is that real?
No, it's not real.
Damn. Joe Rogan, you ruined it.
Why did you think it was real? It looks so fucking fake.
How do I know? I can eat glass.
Can you imagine if he was a world champion ping pong player plus this martial arts master?
I didn't even take it the fact that his ping pong was that good. It was more like he was hitting the ball without.
Wasn't he doing it with nunchucks?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't even know why I answered that. I should have told you yes. It was true. Totally real, bro. Bruce Lee was a master, bro.
I just never wanted to know, and I shouldn't have asked.
I was here one night where Eddie Griffin was telling a Bruce Lee story, and Eddie Griffin was just drunk as fuck, and he was making up some Bruce Lee story. He's like, there was 39 people in the room when he died. All of them attacked Bruce Lee. 18 of them died before they got him.
Wow.
I was like, what? No. He had like an allergic reaction to a drug or something. He had like a blood clot or something. I don't know. Some people think the Chinese triad had him whacked.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because his son Brandon died on the set of a movie
right,
where they had a fake gun, like a gun with a blank.
Yeah.
And they shot at him, and there was something inside the gun, and it wound up killing him. Yeah.
What a way to go. Was it a stuntman who shot him or another actor?
I think it was another actor. And from then on, they made a new rule after that, I think. this might be bullshit, but I think the new rule, this is what I had heard, was that you can't point a gun at someone when you shoot them. Like, instead of shooting you with a blank, if you and I were in a movie and I was going to shoot you with a blank, I'd have to do that. Or it looks like from over there that I'm shooting at you, but I'm really shooting to the left of you.
Oh, fascinating. Wow.
Yeah.
I guess I never realized that. Sightline is weird.
Yeah, you remember his brother, the Crow? Or his son, rather? He was in that movie, The Crow?
It was cool, and they had to finish it without him or something?
Yeah, they had to, like, hire some guy to pretend to be him, I think.
It's 2017. We're almost done with January, and not one major celebrity has died in any way yet.
Crazy. Amazing how many dropped off right before the end, though. Carrie Fisher was a bummer.
That's crazy.
Who else died?
Prince, Bowie.
George Michael, David Bowie. Prince is a bad one, man. He died from fucking pain pills. Oof.
Abe Vigoda.
We lost Fish?
A year ago.
Really?
Beginning of last year.
No shit.
Tough one.
I
He was
didn't know about that one.
175 years old.
He was at least that old. What was that other Barney?
His SAG number
Barney
was
Miller?
3.
Barney Miller, right? Wasn't that
He was on. He played
detective
Fish on
show?
Barney Miller.
And then he had Fish. He was on his own show.
Well, he was in the Godfather movies.
That's true. He had a spinoff though, right? Didn't
Fish.
He? Yeah, that was a.
I love that show. It's only on one season, but everyone remembers it. How is that possible? If there's a show on now for one season, you don't even know it's on. You never heard of it. You never remember. Fish lasted one season, and everyone remembers it.
Do you think this now that you've been on TV a bunch of times, and you've had your own show, and now you got Roast Battle on? Do you think there's so many shows on now with so many networks and so many channels, and then there's streaming shit like Netflix and Hulu and CISO and a million? It's almost like there's too much content.
I think it's just for some reason more narrowed. You get your exact audience.
That's true.
Strange, like Doug Benson has something for pot smokers, and someone else has something for home improvement, and then there's a channel just for cooking shows, and it's kind of like that, I guess. Otherwise, it's hard to understand.
Well, it's hard to get people to know about your show just from TV.
Right.
You need like some sort of a web presence and some sort of a social media presence and something else. It's like regular shows. Like if you just put it on after a successful show, nobody knows what the fuck it is. They just change the channel to something they do know.
Right. Interesting.
There's almost too many things going on now, Jeff.
That's what's hard about launching any TV show. And we're doing our show as a tournament, like as an event. So by the time you even know it's on, it's over.
Yeah. But it's so good. It's so good it can't lose. That's a show when they said that they were going to turn that into a television show, I'm like, that can't miss. It can't miss. And, especially if you could figure out a way to do them all in the belly room. I really feel like the belly room is something special.
It really is the magic.
There's something, it's so intimate. And when you see someone get fucking crushed in the belly room, like I've heard some goddamn Titanic lines up there. What did Kim Kong say about this girl? She said, she's not union, but her tits are SAG.
It really is a joke writer's showcase.
It is. Well,
we're
that's
doing
the
it
thing.
it's next weekend. I don't know when you were posting. We're live. So
we're live now.
Wewe're live now. Hi, I forgot for a second.
Hi, everybody. So when is it?
It's 26, 27, 28, and 29 January, 4 nights in a row.
And it has it already?
It's a bracketed tournament. We're start taping tomorrow, and then the finale is live on the 29th.
Oh, that's awesome. Live on TV.
It's fun right now because we're in the Comedy Store right now. All the New York comics are staying across the street, so they're all coming over to check out the Comedy Store, and now we're shooting across the street in the old House of Blues. So like this whole little neighborhood is going to be Roast Battle neighborhood for a week or so.
You hear the piano?
It's kind of great.
We're downstairs below the original room. So
this
you
is
can hear the
underground
piano.
comedy.
This is underground. That's what we're going to call it. Underground at the Comedy Store. Right?
I love that.
Perfect, because we're underground. That's what we'll call it.
Got it. Love that.
Live underground from the Comedy Store. Fuck yeah. Because you can hear comics killing up there. You can hear the piano music. It's fucking awesome.
It's got a real feel to it, bro.
Dude, you shaved your eyebrows. I ran into you in New York 5 months ago, and you had shaved your eyebrows.
How do I look now?
They're kind of not fit back yet.
I'm a strange-looking guy, Rogan. I mean...
How long does it take for eyebrows to grow back?
Could be a lifetime.
That's fucking nuts. That's so weird. Like, I thought eyebrows would be like a beard. Like
I don't really have hair on my body.
You don't? You like your body hair?
Yeah, like my sister's never shaved her legs. And...
Look, Greg Fitzsimmons, everybody. Come on in, Greg.
Come in?
Fuck yeah. Get in here,
God.
buddy. We saved you a spot. Isn't this cool?
Episode.
Hi, Greg.
Dude, you are here.
Got
Is
his
it better
Letterman
for
jacket
here?
on.
This one's fine? Okay. Beautiful.
Welcome to Hitler's bunker.
I know.
Is
Can
he
we fuck Ava?
No.
How was
Can
your
you
set?
imagine that?
How was your set?
You know, it was one of those crowds where if you did new shit that you were excited about, they were with you. And as soon as you did a bit that had any dust on it, they just fucking flatlined.
So do you think that was you or they felt it in you?
Oh, it was definitely me. It was me because I felt like when you have new stuff, you get so excited about doing it that you come alive,
Right.
and you're not reciting it, you're really saying it. And then when you transition into shit that you've been doing for too long, you lose that freshness, and they sense there's a difference between the material.
There's a moment when you're doing an old bit where you have so much shame and you try to like reignite it and power it up and it doesn't work
Right.
and you're like, oh,
Right.
why am I still doing this fucking shitty bit?
Right. It's like when you see a guy yelling at his son in a parking lot, and he doesn't even believe it. He's just doing it because he thinks that's how a father's supposed to act.
You know what's even worse is when you see someone yelling at their kid and then you look over and you make eye contact with them and they realize they shouldn't be yelling at their kid and they've
Yeah.
lost their cool.
Right. Plus, I can imagine you looking at a guy who's yelling at his kid. There's probably a little bit of a menacing look on your face.
I try not to be. I try to be kind.
Yeah.
I don't want to be menacing to parents.
Or audiences, for that matter.
I'm not a yeller. I don't yell at my kids, man. I might raise my voice occasionally if they're doing something really fucked up, like they're being mean to each other. But I remember people yelling at me, man. Like that, the cortisol reaction, you know, that happens in a kid's brain and all the stress hormones that get released. It's like there's plenty of fucking bad shit going on in the world. They don't need their parents yelling at them, too.
Well, especially when you put it in perspective, like your parent at any given time is possibly 3 or 4 times bigger than you.
Oh, yeah.
And then when they yell at you on top of that, that's fucking intimidating.
Yeah.
Guys sound like a couple of pussies right now.
We have kids. You become a pussy. You definitely do in a certain way. You become a pussy.
Yeah, you definitely.
The good thing about that, me not yelling, is my fucking 6-year-old is not even remotely scared of me. Like, not even a little. She mocks me, like, openly. Like, I go, hey, listen, you can't do that. She sticks her tongue out at me, and she's not even, like, a little nervous around me. Like, maybe I should be a little harder on her.
Just leave some videotapes of you doing jujitsu on somebody, just in a loop.
Yeah, just
in the
show her
living room.
Well, I teach her. I teach my kids. You
Oh.
know, they take martial arts, and my 6-year-old is actually a higher rank than my 8-year-old.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think that gives them the confidence to talk smack at you.
No.
If he hits me, I can block it.
No, I don't think that's it. I just think they know I'm not going to do anything. They beat the shit out of me, though. They're allowed to hit me, like because they're allowed to practice techniques on me. I allowed them, like full blast leg kicks. So especially my 8-year-old, she can fucking hit hard, man. She'll like step into a leg kick and crack.
Yeah.
Like and you know, she lets me know she's going to do it, but I let her do it so she could feel what it's like to hit a real person like as hard as you want.
Yeah, you're her meat puppet.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, Jeff Ross is a black belt in Taekwondo.
I did know that. Yeah.
Back
What
in the day.
year did you
Back when he
become a
had
black
eyebrows.
belt?
I was not even 11.
Oh, so it's a
10 and
junior
half years
black
old.
belt.
Easy, buddy.
Hey, that's nice though. It's great if you fight
It
a
was
midget.
a black belt. I had to teach adults in order to get my black belt.
Really?
You had to teach adults, really?
That was part of the test.
You learn a lot when you teach.
That's true.
Your son's a black belt, right?
Yeah, junior black belt.
Junior black belt.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he did it for like 8 years.
A lot of different schools
That's
have
a
like,
champion.
different
8
distinctions.
years of anything at that age is pretty great.
What's tough is once they get the black belt, there's not new forms to learn. It's just perfecting what you've already learned, and there's a big drop off because kids are they're so used to getting a new belt and learning new, what do they call it, katas?
Yeah, yeah. Depending on it's depending on what style art. Kata is actually a Japanese word. It depends on what martial art. Like in Taekwondo, I think they called it. God, what's the word? Pumseis. Yeah, pumseis, and it's different for other styles of Korean martial arts. Have a different name for it too. But yeah, well, you can go to higher degrees though. You can get like 2nd degree, 3rd degree.
It takes a while.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it takes a different mentality to go to that level.
Yeah, that is a thing, man. Once people achieve black belt, they feel like they're done. You know, the mountain has been climbed. You know, that's one thing that you don't. Well, I guess you kind of have that in all martial arts, but Taekwondo, you're doing a lot of like light contact sparring. You know, and because of that, I think it's not as engaging as like jiu-jitsu, because jiu-jitsu is kind of like full blast because you're not hitting each other. You're just like doing chokes and arm bars and stuff like that. And as long as someone has control, like, you know, and they don't hurt you, like, you know, when someone is in a bad position, you don't, like, if you know you have someone's arm and it's totally locked out, even if they're not tapping, you're not going to break it. You know, you know what to do. You know, like when it's breaking and when it's not. So
I usually just wait till somebody gets an erection, then we call it a day.
do you finish them off?
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
Good man.
I made a joke last night on your show. It just kind of came up, but somebody goes, this guy goes, I'd have sex with you. And I go, oh, that's nice. He goes, he goes, but I'd be the top. I go, of course you'd be the top, because the only way anyone's fucking me is I'm flat on my face and you just tackled me. And it's probably a 3-way. That's the only way I'm getting fucked, is these two guys and I'm the bottom.
Yeah.
There's something there.
Hey, could be. Yeah.
What's the closest you ever came to fooling around with a guy, Jeff?
Right now?
Not close.
Not
Right
close
now?
at all?
This conversation?
You ever got high and like just
I
snuggled?
guess I saw.
What happened? He's rubbing
He
his
just
eyes.
cut himself off.
Yeah, he's like, I can't get
Can't
into
open
that.
this.
He's like, I
He's,
gotta,
you know what he's thinking now? This is part of the problem with being the roast master. He's thinking someone's going to use this on me in a roast.
yeah.
Yeah, could be a
Can't
roast
show a
battle.
soft underbelly.
Do you think you'll ever wound up battling on roast battle?
Oh yeah, I think
Definitely.
down the road.
I think. Are you already preparing?
No, I just think about how it would work. You know, I look at like who I would be fun to battle. You know, I'm obviously a bit easy target for a guy who works the door here. He's going to destroy me. You know, like it's like, of course, how the mighty will fall. But I still think it would be fun anyway.
What does it feel like knowing that you roasted the president of the United States? You roasted Trump.
It is totally a weird feeling. And I saw him a couple weeks ago. I saw him down in Florida, and exchanged pleasantries. And
Oh,
Where'd
I
you
thought you
see
were
him?
kidding. You were just talking about that on stage.
I saw him in Palm Beach at his golf course.
What were you doing at his golf course?
Having lunch.
What? I don't understand your life. Jeff Ross's life is like
Vacation.
nobody else's. I follow him on fucking Instagram, and like every night he's in a different city with
Yeah.
a different set of cool people.
Well, when you're a successful man, you don't have children.
Yeah,
and
right.
You're not married. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Jesus, what a life!
Yeah, you really do have a good life in that regard. You're free as a bird.
It is cool.
How the fuck have you managed to not get tied down?
I'm ready to get tied down.
You're ready?
I wish I.
You say they say that. They
I
say
wish
that.
I was meet somebody
Yeah.
who could do that.
They say
could
that
do
when
that
they're
too.
around us.
Yeah.
and
That's
then
not
when
true.
we're there.
That's not true. I would like to settle down.
Really?
Yeah, I haven't met the right person. You know?
Well, how come you haven't met the right person?
I
'Cause
don't
you're in a
know.
new city every night. You fuck. You're
Well,
constantly
I don't know.
traveling.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe I'm looking the wrong way.
Do you
I
think
don't know.
you'll-
Came close a couple times?
Do you think you'll have a little Jeff someday?
I really hope so.
Yeah.
Really?
I really.
How old are you
really
now?
do hope so. 50.
It's
51.
It's over.
Why?
Because your cum is bad.
You really think so?
Yes. Have you tasted it?
toast.
It's probably
It's
bitter.
toast.
It's probably
Yeah.
like
Come
sour
on,
milk.
don't freak me
Yeah.
out. Don't freak me out. You already told me that the Bruce Lee video wasn't real.
He thought the Bruce Lee video of Bruce Lee playing ping pong with nunchucks, he thought that was real.
No, you didn't. Are you serious? They're round. Nunchucks are round.
And who the fuck is that good that you could time it? 'Cause you'd have to time like the ping pong. It's not like a paddle that's like a rigid thing where you can kind of hit it. You have to time the swing of the thing.
I thought he was a badass.
Well, he was definitely a badass, no doubt about it. He was the original mixed martial artist.
Yeah,
You think my cum is bad?
It's probably not good.
probably not good. You'd probably have to get a nephew or somebody to kick in.
Come on, don't
Should probably
freak me
get
out.
some of Greg's cum. Greg's still got a couple of good swimmers in there.
This is terrible news.
At a certain age, when men have children, there's a high risk of autism. And somebody was mocking Trump. I think it was Rosie O'Donnell was mocking Trump's kid. Like
Oh
saying,
yeah,
"We're
Rosie
gonna-"
O'Donnell did.
Yeah, which I thought was like, wow. I know that he said some fucked up shit about her, But going after his kid like
know.
that, it's like that shows you how much he hurt her.
Yeah.
She wrote a poem about how depressed she was when he became president.
Yeah.
When he won. No, wasn't he? He hadn't even won yet. He made fun of her in a debate. In one of the debates, he was talking like someone said he talked bad about women. He's like, well, Rosie O'Donnell, but everybody agrees with me.
Yeah.
And he got a laugh. And apparently she was just devastated.
She called his kid autistic?
Later. It was after that. Like, after that. I think she was just, like, crushed.
Yeah.
She was talking about how sad she was and how, like, she couldn't go outside. And
I haven't seen his kid. Does he look autistic?
looks like a fucking kid. I don't know.
He's a tall, good-looking kid.
Yeah.
Well, he's got
He
a
loves
bunch
that
of kids.
kid. He gave him Rhode Island for Christmas. It's a comedy store.
Well, the kid's 10 and he's 70.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
So he was 60 when he...
yeah, he shot one in.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, now you just think about how much your cell phone is in your pocket. How many waves are going through your semen all the time. Oh, you don't put it in your pocket?
I do. Sometimes.
You do.
Why does everybody think that radiation's bad? Remember when we were kids?
Yeah.
When comic book guys got
don't sit
radiation,
too
they always
close to the
became
TV.
heroes.
Yeah.
But they
Don't-
became heroes.
Don't sit too close to the TV, they used to tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were worried about that. But I think that was for your eyes.
Oh.
Right? But like radiation in comic books, it always does good shit.
Yeah.
You know?
I
People
guess
get
you're right.
superpowers.
People go radiation when they're ill. It's a healing thing now.
Not really. They do to kill the tumor, but it
Right.
kills you too.
Oh.
It just kills the tumor more than it kills you. It kills the tumor first, and it brings you to the door of death, and then you pull back
Oof.
and start drinking wheatgrass juice and getting your life together.
That's right. I just ordered some probiotics online today.
Oh, yeah? You should eat actual live probiotics.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Like yogurt?
kimchi, yogurt, kefir is good.
Yeah.
All that stuff. I'm a big proponent of probiotics. I eat a lot of it, man. It's
Yeah.
huge.
Like what? What is that?
Kimchi, well, probiotics is anytime you're taking in like healthy bacteria, like whether it's in the form of yogurt, acidophilus. Sauerkraut is actually a healthy, especially raw sauerkraut.
Oh, yeah?
Actually, a very good probiotic.
Huh.
Really good for you. There's a lot of like natural food stores, like Whole Foods type places that have probiotic sauerkrauts. Really good for you because it's fermented.
Yeah.
And anytime you're fermenting something, what's happening is like this bacteria is living on the food. So like when you're eating kimchi, there's bacteria living on the food, but it's healthy bacteria.
Okay.
Because I fart so bad, and it's been years. I think I caught Giardia when I was down in Florida.
Really?
And
What,
it
you
just
drinking out of
never
a creek?
No, tap water in Florida, man. You're not supposed to drink it. It's the worst tap water in America.
What?
Because it's a sandbar. There's no fucking fresh water down there.
Yeah, but isn't all tap water treated with like chlorine?
Yeah,
and
but there's only
fucking-
so much they can do with that shit down there.
Really?
Look at those people. And so I started farting, and it just I went on all kinds of antibiotics, and I got rid of like a bulk of it, but the farts have remained.
Like,
and
is it-
so somebody told me probiotics can clear it up.
Have you ever heard that when people get poop transfusions?
No.
Yeah, they'll take poop from a healthy
No.
person. Yes, it's a real thing.
Ass to ass?
Well, they don't make you go butt to butt with somebody. I think they go in and fish it out, and they shoot it up in you. But they literally will shoot somebody else's poop up your
Wow.
asshole into your body.
Yeah.
And some people even swallow poop tablets.
Wow.
Yeah,
Never heard that.
yeah. They do to people that have like really unhealthy gut biomes. And one of the issues with a lot of people is antibiotics. When you take antibiotics, it doesn't just kill the bad stuff; it kills good stuff too.
Oh, they just had the first woman who couldn't be cured by antibiotics. Did you read about that?
No.
Yeah, she had some kind of I don't know what it was. It was some kind of a bacteria.
Like MRSA?
You know, I wish I knew more about the story, but I don't know. Maybe we can look it up on the internet. But it was the first time that they tried every type of antibiotic, and it didn't work. And they said that this could mark the beginning of untreatable viruses. So bacteria or virus? I guess
Bacteria.
bacterias, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
don't
well,
treat
that's
viruses with antibiotics.
I don't think so. You take antiviral medication's a different thing, I
Right.
believe. But bacteria, like as far as like the stuff that you get like from staph infections and stuff like that, has gotten stronger and stronger over the years.
Yeah.
Especially in hospitals, man. There's a lot of people that catch MRSA from hospitals and they fucking wind up dying.
Yeah. Hell
It's a
yeah.
big issue.
Guys are really depressing me.
Don't. I'm sorry. Come on, man.
Do you
We're
have a
talking
light?
about Rose Bottle.
Do you have a light?
I mean, yeah, I do. Yeah.
So we are in the final hours before the
Inauguration.
inauguration. It's a crazy time. I didn't think that I would be this. I really thought after the election I would wrap my head around it and I would be like, okay, this is normal. Trump is going to be president. Like, I would have some sense of like, okay, I don't feel any more ready for this than I was the night after the election.
No, it's weird. It's 100% weird. I was watching this video that someone was playing on their Instagram page where they were there while Trump was walking into this room in D.C. and surrounded by Secret Service agents and all these sycophants and all these weird people around him, and this guy's yelling out, "Thank you, Mr. Trump. Thank you. You are a godsend, sir. You're a god." Andrew Santino, ladies and gentlemen, come on in. Have a seat, fella. You're coming in right at the time Jeff Ross is handing you a joint.
Oh, thank you,
here,
Jeff.
buddy.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Santino, live Netflix special on the way. Trump supporter, by the way. He voted 5 times.
Huge Trump supporter. I voted as many times as I could.
Yeah,
I kept doing it.
He had a fake ID, pretended to be Mexican.
I did actually. Yeah, I became Andrew Santino. So I switched it up.
Santino.
Yeah, Santino. Yeah, Santiago. Yeah, big Trump supporter. Fitz, you are too.
Well, I'll just say right now, ladies, get your abortions before noon tomorrow.
Don't you think Trump's had a lot of girls get abortions? I think he's going to back off of
Are
that.
you shitting me? He's got a frequent fetus card. Oh yeah, he's driven a few ladies off into the clinic.
Of course.
Absolutely.
That's his thing.
Well, they were saying that about G.W. Bush, was that there was a pretty well documented case when he was in college. Where'd he go, to Texas or something?
Yeah.
That
He went to college?
He went to fucking Yale, didn't he?
No.
Yeah.
Wharton School of Business, right?
No, that's Trump. Talking about GW.
Oh, okay.
Didn't he?
Yeah.
I think he did go to
He
Yale,
went to
didn't
Yale,
he?
yeah.
Yeah, because he was in the Skull and Bones, right?
Yeah.
Both
GW.
Bushes went.
Right.
All the Bushes went to Yale.
Right.
That's one of those grandfathered in things, though, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, your
Yeah.
whole
How about
family
George
gets to
and
go.
Barbara Bush doing double suicide to get out of going to the inauguration?
What are they doing?
They're both in the hospital.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're both dying right now on
They're like,
purpose.
why don't we just stop taking our medication? What do you think, Georgie? Maybe we should stop taking our medical. We won't have to go to the inauguration.
What medicine? Who are you?
I want to go skydiving.
Why is Martha Washington in my bedroom?
Jeff, put that down.
I didn't see him for years, and then I saw him recently, and he was in a wheelchair on some interview and some video, and it made you realize, like, wow, it's been a while.
I
since
know.
I
It's
saw
crazy
him.
to think that
Yeah.
Carter's still alive and W's still alive.
How old's
George
Carter?
Bush.
He's old.
Well, he was old when he was
probably like
president in
90.
76.
Was he?
Yeah, he was already old.
Yeah.
He was an interesting guy, man. You know, Carter didn't really get a fair shake. He was a
Go to the presidential library. Carter's in Atlanta is awesome. You should check it out.
well. I heard some speeches that he gave before when he was running for president. Back when Hunter S. Thompson recorded a speech that he gave at one of those Washington. Is it out?
No.
And it was. What's more?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm good, dude. Oh, Jesus. It was in that movie Fear and Loathing. Not Fear and Loathing, the other one. Gonzo, the life and works of
Yeah,
Dr.
yeah.
Hunter S. Thompson, the documentary on him. Really interesting, man. Like Carter was, he was a pretty intense and moral guy. Like very, very powerfully so.
He was a good Christian. He was the good kind of Christian.
It was
the good kind.
Well, because I think people can use Christianity as a way of feeling better than,
Yeah.
or it can be a life of service, and he was very much a life of service.
Right, there's like two. There's like the way that like my dad goes to church still, just because he just likes the people that are there.
Yeah,
More
yeah,
so
it
than
becomes
anything else. He's like, I just
community.
want to go see fucking people that I've known for 40 years.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't really listen ever. I mean, my dad is notoriously just falling asleep
In church?
every single time. Yeah, he's just there to like see some friends before and after.
Yeah.
It's a club.
But
It's a
do
little
you
club.
think? I mean, because I go back and forth on religion because it's so easy to take like the the agnostic route and say that all religion is evil and all that. But it's like so much good shit has happened because of organized religion. I mean, you look at what the Jews have done in this country with just fucking hospitals alone. And then you got Christians that have gone to Central America, nuns that have fucking saved villages. And
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there's tons of good stuff. I think the cheap fucking route is to say that religion sucks, just because that's a easy blanket to go, fuck religion. It's just caused every war. It's the worst thing. It's like, yeah, there's a lot of fucking negatives to it.
Yeah, they blamed it on every war, but war is something that's caused by people.
Yeah.
And people would have found a reason to go to war. They go to war because they're apes.
Yeah.
They go to war because apes fight against apes. It's like they're always dominating for that alpha position. If they're blaming it on religion, it's just a convenient reason to go fuck somebody up. They would have done it because they had diamonds, or they'd do it for oil. They're not.
Yeah, that's the thing in Ireland. They try to pretend that it's a war between the Protestants and the Catholics. No, it's the fucking Brits trying to colonize and destroy a population of people.
Yeah.
That's it.
And people get tribal. They get, people will fight, the fucking Raiders will fight the Eagles. The fans will meet in the parking lot and have a fucking gang war. That's just what people do.
For a shirt color.
Yeah, that's what people do. I mean, didn't they beat some guy almost to death in
Dodger Stadium?
Yeah.
Yeah, he put him in a coma.
Horrible.
San Francisco fan.
Some guy with his kid, right?
Yeah, kids. He has kids with him, and two dudes just.
Yeah, but I think the kid was autistic, though.
Was he?
He just
No,
went
I'm
for it.
just
He just
I
went
was
for
gonna
it. He
say.
Can't help himself. His instincts took over.
He was autistic, yeah.
It's just crazy how tribal people are. And that's one of the things that you're seeing with this election, too. Whether you're a Trump supporter or a Hillary supporter or a Bernie supporter, whatever, if you just can step back from it for a second and look at it objectively, what you're seeing is these people that are like blindly loyal to one side or the other. And then you just see giant clumps of them that move in that direction. And very few people who look at it and have like a balanced perspective that's outside of like an ideology. You know what I mean? Like very few people are going, well, we got this guy who won a popularity contest, and he's the first actually popular person who won this popularity contest.
Yeah.
And everybody else who's been winning this popularity contest has just been in this one select group. So in that sense, it's a good thing. Because it's going to be a disruptive thing. And this system is not good. It's not good to have the same fucking families run the country over and over again, have the same bureaucracy, the same red tape, all the shit that people have had to deal with when it comes to politics. Like, it's not a perfect system, and it's not getting improved. And one of the reasons it doesn't get improved is because the people that run the system have a concerted, there's a great benefit for them to keep the system in place. There's plenty of jobs. There's plenty of people doing it. There's plenty of red tape. There's plenty of confusion. There's plenty of debate and influence, and it goes back and forth from side to side, and all that keeps it relevant, and it keeps people from stopping and saying, why are there these two groups? One is right and one is left. One's conservative and one's liberal, when most of us are a combination of all those things.
Well, not only that, it's all projections by the big business to say there's even a right and a left. They've got both. They're pulling the strings on both sides.
Yeah. I was saying that I remember like coming around the store and listening to people at the beginning of the campaign, Trump's campaign, like vehemently hating him so much. And that kind of like extremism was the same for like Bernie support, like the Bernie chaos, like the Bernie thing was crazy. I mean, it was like the same kind of crazy, chaotic, like fuck anybody but Bernie. And the Trump supporters were the same way. It was like, fuck anybody but Donald Trump. It was like extremes on both sides. And it's the same thing. At some point, you're at a level plane, right? 0 is the same as 100. You know what I mean? Like if I said to a friend of mine, how gay are you on a percentage scale, 0 to 100? And if a guy says 100, okay, he's gay. And then if a second guy says, oh yeah, I'm, 48. I'd be like, okay, I get that. Yeah.
That's
tendencies.
Jeff Ross.
Yeah, Jeff, me. But then if a guy says 0, I'm 0. Fuck that. It's the same as the 100 guy.
Yeah. Right.
The extremism is the same. It's just a different angle. But there's not enough people that are 40% gay. There's not enough people in the middle of it all.
Yeah, and a lot of people try to say, well, no, I actually really am independent. And it's like, I wish, but then you talk to them a little bit, and they're on one side or the other.
Of course.
It's very difficult because there's no truth anymore. There's no paper. There's no one. There used to be like, if you watched, CBS, NBC, ABC News, there was a journalistic integrity that they subscribed to, and both sides said, these are the facts.
Right.
There's no news outlet any longer that both sides look at.
No.
That's a really important point.
It's very clear. It's cut and dry.
How did that happen?
I don't know. I'm curious to know when it happened. Like at what time period of politics did that become the notion of the shift of like an obvious, this is precisely who we're for, and it's clear.
I was watching CNN and Fox News back and forth, like after the debate. And it was so fascinating, man. It was like, who is telling the truth? Like, what is happening here?
Yeah,
like these are two totally different stories, and they're so clear on one side or the other. Like Fox News, excuse me, was so clear on Trump's side, and CNN was so clear on Hillary's side. It was so
They
obvious.
switched places in one day.
They were concentrating.
CNN and Fox News, they just switched places. Overnight.
Yeah.
Well, it's crazy how
CNN's
one of
the
them
Fear
became.
Network and Fox News is the reality.
Well, what news do you follow, Jeff?
I follow it all. I don't follow any news. I watch and read a lot of news.
Yeah.
I always.
You have like a aggregator on your phone that pulls from different news sources?
I just tend to search up topics. Be curious what Chris Christie's up to this week, or Al Franken, or I'll just get someone on my mind. Sometimes I'll go to Politico, and usually there's a great angle that you hadn't thought of.
Politico and Guardian are good for different angles.
Yeah, the Guardian's good.
Yeah, because they're outside well, originally, I guess there's a lot of their writers are Americans now, right?
Did you see the Guardian?
Initially it was UK.
Yeah.
Okay, you want some water?
Yeah, I'm good, dude. I don't know what's going on. That weed's strong. Did you see that Guardian article by Glenn Greenwald about this unsubstantiated attacks on Trump? It was really interesting.
No. Well, like fake news?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he was talking about what Eisenhower had warned about. The military-industrial complex.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is a crazy, bold article.
And they predicted a Trump-like figure rising up.
Well, it's not just that. Like, he's talking about how the deep state is attacking Trump. Like, that's what he's bringing up, that the deep state is attacking him and going after him.
Yeah.
And that, like, the CIA and the intelligence agencies, like, they're making some sort of a concerted effort to single him out and go after him and destroy his person.
Wow.
Destroy his, public persona. And that's where all the urine thing
Well, that's
came
just
from.
when you get into
peeing on the bed.
politics. When you get into politics, all this stuff bubbles up. But
But
the
those
FBI
stories are
doesn't give a-
crazy.
The FBI doesn't give a fuck about politics. They care about the FBI. And if anybody crosses them the way Trump already has, they're going to try to bury him.
Yeah.
But I mean, think about that. When has there ever been a time where an unsubstantiated story about a guy who's the president-elect about peeing on beds? Like, when is there ever they've talked about that like so openly?
Yeah.
It's been so open that his last press conference, he shut down the rumor by saying he's a germaphobe.
I'm a germaphobe.
That's how massive of a story that is, that during one of the most important press conferences, he addressed that fucking thing.
He had
And
to.
it didn't stop there. Then he went on to talk about, everybody knows there's cameras in the room. I mean, what am I, stupid?
You're right.
It
It's
wasn't
like
about,
detail.
what am I, immoral? It was, what am I, stupid?
Right.
Dude,
It's
that is so
it's unbelievable.
crazy. So
Yeah.
crazy.
And then you watch how I don't think I've ever seen, I mean, this might be me being ignorant, but I don't know if I've ever seen a president in a press conference or president-elect shut down a source like he did CNN, was like, I won't talk to you. I don't know if I've ever seen a president single one out, and then they probably slyly ignore certain journalists that they don't want to fucking talk to, but I've never seen one be like, I don't talk to CNN, I don't talk to that news source, fuck you.
Well, I think that there's a protocol for who you go to first. Like for years, the first question always went to that one old woman from the Associated Press.
Yeah, from the AP, yeah.
She was always the first question. And then
Right.
and then after that, I think there was a certain pecking order to it. And Trump just basically said, I'm gonna choose what news and questions you guys hear from now on. He's not, the press corps is no longer traveling with him. It's the first time a president has not had the press corps with him at all times.
It's crazy. Yeah, because and his reasoning was, he was like, "What, are you going to watch me eat food?" That's what he thought that they were at. He's like, no, they're interested in what's going on. They're interested in what this conversation you might be having with someone of some sense of importance. But he was like, I don't want you watching me do simple shit.
Yeah.
But that's just part of their fucking gig.
Yeah.
That's what they've always done. And then I think about that, like, how much simple shit have they seen where it's so annoying? At some point, they've got to be like, fuck, this is so boring.
Well, especially when they get on Air Force One and they're going to fucking Russia for 10 hours and they're just sitting around, and so they can do like a 30-second photo op and yell questions at him, and then another 10-hour flight home.
And imagine like one of the guys in the group is just like, I think I'm going to go talk to him. And the other guy's like, don't do it. Don't go fucking, don't go in his room, dude. It's like, what? I think we're cool now, man. We've had some moments, I feel like don't be that guy. And then the rest of the 9-hour plane flight is fucking miserable.
When he was praising Kanye West for supporting him, I remember watching that on TV and going, is this real life?
Yeah, it was a trip.
Is this real life?
Wait, I read the greatest, I wish I know the source just because I don't want to fucking say somebody else's shit, but there was just a meme floating around on the internet that said, I bet you 8 years ago when Obama gained presidency, there were so many fucking extremists going, I bet you the first people he's going to talk to are rappers and Steve Harvey. And then you see fucking that's who Trump just drags in rappers and Steve. Dude, I loved it. I was like, that's so fucking true. How many white extremists were like, he's going to talk to rappers in the White House, and it's Trump that's doing it?
Yeah.
It's great. Yeah. I mean, it's so funny.
Who else is he talking to? Like, who else is he like publicly?
Well,
Don King.
Yeah.
Who?
Don King.
Don
King. Yeah, he loves Don King. But they've had a relationship in the past.
Right.
So like they go back. So this is almost like he gets to invite his actual friends.
Do you remember when
into this world.
All his
Obama was in
friends
trouble?
are getting ambassadorships. It's going to be crazy.
No, not Christie. Christie's
No?
getting nothing.
Nothing?
I don't mean his political friends. I mean his friends.
Yeah, his life friends.
Oh,
Yeah.
His
Do you guys
lawyer,
remember-
his buddies that he know?
Do you guys remember when it was a
Business
big deal
manager.
that Obama was attached to that really radical professor?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
crazy.
yeah.
Who was one of the weathermen? Is that what it was? Is
Yeah,
that what
the
they called
weathermen.
themselves? And they were like doing acid and having orgies and shit and robbing banks or something. And he was like a part of that in some way. And he was a professor that Obama knew in college. And there was always this big controversy that he knew this radical terrorist.
Right.
That Obama is like some fucking sleeper guy. Like
No,
a
but he
sleeper
was
cell.
no, but he did have to distance himself from the guy
Yeah.
because the guy did have some very pro secession. What do they call it? The blacks that think you should return to Africa and whites should pay for it. He was one of those guys. Secessionist?
Yeah, I guess that's what that would be.
Succession.
Secessionist?
Secessionist.
Secession, right?
Secession?
Secession, yeah, to secede.
So he had to back off from that guy. But it's what about the guy who marched?
Have you guys seen his brother? Do you
We
know
have
about
like
his brother on
Whose
fucking
brother?
Twitter? Obama's brother. Do you know this account? Have you heard about this?
No.
There's like a guy who's saying he's his brother, and it's like, he's like, I don't support him. I support Trump. You haven't
Yeah,
seen
I
this?
saw something
He's
in the
pretending to
paper.
be his brother?
You saw this?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is
He has a half brother.
he's a half brother.
That is fake news.
It probably is. Who knows?
I
Doesn't
saw
matter.
Obama
That's the
talking
thing.
about fake news. He was talking about it too.
I think that was fake.
But Trump was fucking talking. Trump was talking to this dude like, thanks for the support. Like, thanks for not supporting your half brother.
Well, I mean, you want to talk about fake news. How about Trump ran around for 3 years saying that fucking Obama wasn't born in this country?
I know.
That was crazy. I mean, that was the beginning of fake news.
Let me see his ID. Let me see his birth certificate.
Yeah.
And then how about the irony? Now Trump won't show his fucking taxes. He won't, and because his excuse is even after the audit's over, what do people need to see now? Like, that's the reasoning. Is like, what do you want to see? Mm-hmm. If I get audited and I fucking deal with the government through the audit, what do you need to know other than we're taking care of it?
I think people want to know
crazy.
how much money he has borrowed from China and Russia.
Yeah.
Because that could really affect his, policy decisions.
Absolutely.
I thought that was like one of the things that you had to divulge your income.
You do.
Like, wasn't that a deal with Howard? That's why Howard didn't eventually like really run for governor after a certain point, because they wanted him to divulge his taxes.
Yeah,
Well, that's how they found out he hasn't paid his taxes. He doesn't pay taxes because of his major loss a long time ago.
Oh, that was that weird thing,
Atlantic
right?
City
So
loss.
that he had to make some disclosure, but he doesn't. It's not. It's a general summary of his income.
It would also say
It's like
how
where
much
he has money in certain types of ways, but it's not his income taxes where you know what he spent on phone calls and security and everything, and
It's just investments.
where he
and shit.
goes.
It would
and all
also
that.
tell you how much he's donated to charity, which he doesn't want people to know. I mean, he created his own charitable, what do you call it? Charity.
Yeah, charitable fund, charitable charity.
Charitable charity. And apparently he hasn't given any money to it in like 2 or 3 years. It's just been money he solicited from people on the outside to give to his charity,
Right.
that then he disperses.
God, that's so crazy.
But that's the whole thing. Is like, then do we know that that's real too? Like that's the other. I don't know.
right.
I would like to think that's got to be true, but then I'm like, I don't know.
No, because they can solicit the records of his charity.
Of the nonprofit. Right. But they can't do it for his personal
Right.
and private. Right.
That's so
Game
nuts.
over.
Game
He'll be
over.
president for 20 years.
he's gonna change it.
He's going to step aside, let his buddy take over like Putin did in Russia, and then eventually one of his kids or something. This is
Yeah.
it. Hello.
Game over.
Get on board,
Game
fellas.
over.
You really think so?
Yeah.
Chris Rock was saying that on stage, or a bit wrapped around that.
I buy it.
It was very funny. And I was stopping to think, I was like, we're all laughing. But if something like that did happen, if it wasn't Trump, if it was somebody like that, maybe it's the next guy to figure out how to do it like that. We essentially exposed the personality contest. Like
Yeah.
you expose the flaw in it. You're not looking for the best leader. You're looking for the person who's got the best personality for the
Yeah.
job, the person who's got the best story.
It's a
the person
reality
who's-
show.
Yeah.
Well, you know
Which
that
is
guy
why
from
he fucking
Dilbert?
won.
Scott Adams, the guy who wrote Dilbert, he's a really, really smart guy. And he predicted Trump winning a long time ago. And the reason why he predicted, he said he's the most persuasive guy I've ever seen. He said he's incredibly persuasive. He just understands the art of persuasion extremely well. And he's like, just if you looked at it like mathematically, like this guy has a really good chance, and he predicted he was going to be president. And people gave him so much shit, and he doesn't even vote. He's like a really interesting guy, very, very smart guy. And he wasn't saying that Trump was going to be president because he's this big Trump supporter, and it wasn't that. He was looking at it like pragmatically. He's like, this guy has incredible abilities of persuasion.
Well, he's broken every single rule. Every conventional wisdom about running for president, he broke and won. So now it's like you said, Jeff, who fucking knows?
Who knows?
There's nothing normal anymore.
Do you think he gets 2 terms easy, and then after that he's
Then
just
there's
going to
no more
line up
terms.
people?
Then there's no more terms.
No more terms.
No more terms.
That's it. No, then it's just there's no more voting.
You really think so?
I feel like it's going to get interesting. I feel like he locks up his own military. Is going to start.
He's already marginalized the press. He's told
He's got his own
told his
security
followers
guys
that
around him.
the press is
You're
lying.
not arresting him. You're not impeaching him.
He's staying in the White House for like 2 nights a week.
He's not moving.
He's not even moving to
that
fucking
place.
Yeah.
DC.
He's not going to. He's going to stay in. New
He's
York.
having a satellite White House in New York City. He wants a satellite in Manhattan.
You should have seen the video.
The way he operates, there's no way he's going to the White House and having all that around him.
No
I don't
chance.
think so.
You know what's so funny?
I think for a little while to make it look good, but
I am fucking
just to get
freaking
the-
out right
just to
now.
get pictures.
People in New York are bullshit
But then again,
about the traffic
But
around
then again,
his-
he might like it there and stay. I could see him going, you know what? It's not so bad. Let's fix.
He
this
likes
and
it when he can rub elbows with famous people. That's what's so funny about this inauguration weekend for him, is that he couldn't get any celebrities, and that's all he really cares about.
That was the most important thing. And then he got that one young. They offered it to that one young singer, that chick, and she said, "I'll do it if I can sing." What is that fucking song? It's about slavery in America, and about black people swinging from the trees.
Sweet Home Alabama?
Yes, that's the one. That's it. But she basically was like, "I'll do it if you let me sing this song." And of course they were like, "No, absolutely
Yeah.
not." But she was just like, "I'll come do it," because every artist in the world was like, "I'm not singing there. Absolutely not. No chance. No chance. No chance."
How strange is that? Have you ever heard anything like that, where there's no artist that you know about that want to go to that?
There's one country guy, and he's fucking nuts.
Who's the
that?
country guy?
What was the country guy's name? Was saying, or he's singing.
Is it Hank Williams Jr.?
It was tonight.
Oh, Leo Greenwood or whatever.
No, bigger. This guy's huge. Toby Keith.
Toby
Toby
Keith?
Keith is
That guy's
gigantic.
fucking
He's gigantic.
massive.
He's massive.
singing there?
I think it was tonight, actually.
Kobe Teeth.
Kobe Teeth?
Toby Keith, Lee Greenwood, and Three Doors Down were the main.
Yeah.
Three Doors
Three
Down.
Doors Down.
Where's that
And
from?
Roseanne-
They're every band you've never heard.
They had that one song.
What was the
They have one big star.
Superman.
What
not
is it?
Superman.
And one, Roseanne
Kryptonite.
Barr is singing the
Kryptonite.
Oh, Kryptonite.
Roseanne Barr is singing the national anthem.
That's a good song.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
but they're
man.
done. Yeah, they're done.
That's
But-
a good song. That's one. If I go crazy, man, will you still call me Superman? Right? Is that it? How it
Yeah.
goes?
I don't know. Is
Yeah,
that
it's
it?
a good song.
If I go crazy. Yeah, it is a good
Something
song.
like
Are
But
they going to sing that for him? Is that going to be
you know,
the
they had a
chant?
Bruce Springsteen cover band booked, and they fucking canceled.
They
Yeah, you didn't hear about this?
What?
Yeah.
Did a Bruce Springsteen cover
cover
band?
band.
Sorry, Don. We're born to run.
Well, they were going to do it, and then they got so much shit from their fans, and then they said, we're stepping down out of respect to the boss.
Is that what they said? Did he issue a statement?
Cool with this.
Did the boss say anything about it?
I don't think he
boss
had
does
to.
not
I think
like
his
Trump.
I think
We
his
got a
oh,
gig
yeah,
on
he
the
hates
edge
No,
of
Trump.
but I was wondering if he like publicly like made a statement about the fucking the cover band playing. You know what
No,
I mean?
I think Bruce's fans were very vocal with these guys.
they did it. They made it work.
Everybody who probably got an email about some fucking gig is like, I turned it down.
Oh, no,
bet you-
these guys were signed
I
up.
bet you could
But
find-
that is a good play. That's a good publicity move.
Yeah, it is. I bet you could find a comic that would do it in a heartbeat.
Who do you think would do it?
I heard
I'm just saying, there's a bunch of. I'm sure there's like a bunch
Brody
of people.
Stevens
that
would do
yeah,
it.
oh my god, he'd love it.
I heard Marley Maitland is going to sing. I heard that.
Like, what is
I
that?
heard they got David Bowie.
They're going to get holograms, celebrities against
Oh
their
my
will.
God.
sing
Tupac
that.
hologram.
That's what he would do. He'd get
Yeah.
a Prince hologram to
Yeah.
fucking
I
sing.
know this. I know for the inaugural parade, Secret Service is on high alert in case Donald tries to attack somebody.
Why didn't Kanye play it?
He's at another inauguration. He's
He
in.
said he's not American enough or something.
What?
What?
I'll find the quote real quick. Hold on.
Even the people that are doing it are not necessarily saying they support Trump. They're saying that they're
Need the
supporting
money.
patriotism.
Need the money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They need the money.
Toby Keith supporting Trump.
he is. He came up on stage with a red Dixie cup and cheered him. Did a big cheers.
off.
I swear to God.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ.
He's not traditionally American enough, is sort of the quote they said.
Who said that?
Who
It's
said that?
Trump's team that was asked, inauguration committee, that Kanye is not American enough. So they didn't
That's
ask
so ridiculous.
What does that even mean? Not American enough?
What about Kid Rock? I'm surprised Kid Rock didn't do it.
How is Kid Rock not on the card?
I don't know what kind of show you think this is.
Anyone they can get.
Who knows? I don't know what it is.
Did you guys see this? Ted Nugent grabbing his dick at the Trump rally.
Oh, he was there?
Have you not seen this video?
He was grabbing his dick?
This was up
Oh.
up in Michigan. Look at this is a great video of Ted Nugent. If you have never seen this,
To be a productive American in the asset column by that spirit of real Michigan, that spirit of the greatest state in the nation that should not, we must not let it get lumped
He's dressed like a fisherman at a
do you
rally.
have that?
in Illinois and New York and New Jersey and Maryland and Massachusetts. I got your blue state right here, baby.
He just grabbed his dick and he said, I got your
your
blue
blue
state
state
right
right
here,
here."
baby.
Killing.
Ted Nugent, baby.
He's very happy.
You're a big Nuge fan.
Love to Cat Scratch Fever.
Yeah, baby.
Dude, Stranglehold. Great fucking song.
I got your
But,
blue state right here.
It's amazing.
They did. Someone
Wow.
Funny or Die did a thing where they kept zooming in on him grabbing his penis to accentuate like the physical hold of his penis.
Oh, he actually went for it?
Yeah, no, he physically grabs it. It looks like he's holding onto a lighter. I mean,
Oh, my God.
And they fucking kept punching in on it to show him doing it.
When did he do that? When did that take place?
This was at a rally in I think it's Michigan. Do you have it up
really
there?
recently?
I'm gonna see. I just got it sent.
That happened along the campaign trail.
Yeah, it was on the
They
campaign.
showed
Oh,
up
did?
at some shit.
Yeah.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
I was doing a
That's
late.
the crazy thing, the victory tour. Like, how do you win the election, then go to the states you won? Wouldn't you go to the states that you lost and see what they have to say?
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is a
And
different
then going
experience.
after SNL's cast members, that was kind of weird.
every week, not just
Well,
once.
Alec Baldwin's one thing, you would ever go after, but you go and the cast isn't funny. I was like, oh, geez.
Yeah.
23-year-old first job. Now the president saying on his Twitter that I'm not funny.
I think the beauty of it is it's just
Go
fuel
after
for the fire.
cast. He doesn't have to go to the cast.
I think,
could he
I think
say?
fucking SNL's benefiting from that. I think it's fantastic. for
Oh,
them.
it's great for
They
them.
fucking-
You
it's
should- although
amazing.
they're
It's huge.
I
If
think
I
the
were him, I
ratings were
would
actually
tweet
low
next
last
week.
week.
No, that's funny. They got me. He should make like he was just being tough.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about this country is we love
never.
it when we hate somebody and then we like them again.
Yeah.
You know, so all he has to do is that. All he has to do is put out some positive tweets and be conciliatory and then watch the country just sweep him up in the air. Look at what happened to Bush after 9/11.
Yeah.
That's true.
He had the lowest favorability rating of any president in history. And after 9/11, he shot up to like 80%.
That's right. I remember that.
Somebody they said Trump has the lowest incoming president-elect approval rating in the history. How do they compile that?
That's a very good question. I've always wondered.
I was like, how do they compile? Who are they asking?
exactly.
I don't know.
Who's taking polls? People that take polls. That's what they're doing.
And what? Well, that's like the
Well,
fucking
the same people that projected the election to go to Hillary.
Well, what's interesting is
Why
they
do we
were
trust
right.
them anymore?
They
I
were, no, but they were right if it was a popular vote. Like they
Right.
actually were right.
Yeah.
And it was really, it's really funny. Like it just shows how crazy the electoral college system is. But he said, no, it should be a popular vote. He goes, that's a different race though. Like he conceded that it's better to have it be the popular vote. He goes,
But he would have run a different.
But he goes, yeah,
campaign.
exactly. He goes, that's not the game. He goes, the game is the electoral college vote, and that's the game we played, and we won by a landslide. Like he's right.
He's right.
He's right. He played it like a game. They played it like this thing that they've been doing over and over and over again. They fucked up in that they rigged it for so long that their popularity contest got taken over by someone who's actually popular, like an actual famous person.
and knows how to become he knows how to become more popular. Do you know what I mean? Like he understands some people know the formula of just how to do that. He knows how to fucking do it.
And he's rich as fuck, and he doesn't have to do what they want him to do.
Right.
It's different. Like
Yeah.
he can finance his own campaign. He gets there. He gets press by talking mad shit and getting people to talk about him. Like he knows how to do it.
Here's the thing that I'm confused about is what's the overall vision? Like what is Trumpism? Like if you think about Democratic, what's Trumpcratic?
It's a good question.
Small government.
Well, I mean, I think his truths are to make sure taxes are low for people that are earning a lot, so those people can stabilize that market that they're already in. You know what I mean? That people don't have to sacrifice at the top. I think he's pretty clear about that. I mean, he wants to lower the fuck out of business tax. He wants that to go to low. So he's saying zero government. Let these people fucking govern themselves. Let small businesses. That's his whole campaign, is to keep money up top where it is. And fucking let pockets that are pretty thick stay thick. I mean, I think he's pretty transparent about that. That seems to be a thing that he's pretty obvious about. I think he wants the rich to stay rich, and he's not afraid of saying it. And for some reason, people that are poor are like, I like it.
Yeah.
I like what he's going for. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's going to be very, very interesting. I'm really curious to see how this plays out.
Oh, it's going to be interesting. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like any other time when I'm not happy about what's going on politically, I just put my head in the sand for a while and I go, I'll just check in a few months. But I cannot stop reading on my phone and the papers. Like, this is like we're living through a part of history that's probably more turbulent than any other presidential transition,
Do you think this is
except for Johnson and Kennedy.
this is like a big metaphorical question, but because of Obama lived through the age of like the bursting of the internet space and its involvement in politics, of like Twitter and Instagram and all this shit.
This is bigger.
This is even bigger than
America's midlife breakdown right now.
that. This is it.
Yeah.
This is us bottoming out. Halfway. This is the halfway point.
I
think it's
hope
gonna get real.
we got another 200
I think
years.
I think Trump is president for 20 years or 3 days, or it's like something terrible.
But do you
happens.
think? But do you
Do you
think?
worry about something terrible? Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah,
No, you-
because I think he had a real control over his message in America. You know, he has friends who own the tabloids. Remember, I remember flying with him once. Never mind, but it's like
I remember flying with him once. No, fuck you. Go back. You can't
Never
just
mind.
fly
some
past
of his
that.
best friends own tabloids.
Wow.
You know,
Yeah.
and those are his boys.
It's like the Koch family.
They had all the bad stories locked up, but now when it starts happening in Russia and stuff, he doesn't have quite the hold on it. People can really get to him. And then, you know, he's not young. Yeah, I worry about something bad happening. It may not end well for him. You know, it's really a tricky one. Another part of me says, get behind it because you're going to be around for the rest of my life.
The Glenn Greenwald thing is an interesting angle, though, because Glenn Greenwald is a really respected journalist. He's the guy who exposed WikiLeaks. He's a guy who a lot of people go to, and he's not without his criticisms.
Right.
I mean, a lot of people criticize him. He's had this ongoing feud with Sam Harris. But if you look at like what he's talking about here, if there's any shred of truth to it, that you're seeing like this old institution attack this incoming guy and do it in a foolish way that actually kind of strengthens this disbelief that people have in the news.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they make up some crazy story and you hear CNN talking about it and all these other people talking about it, unsubstantiated reports that involve lewd activities and golden showers, like what? Who the fuck is doing this? Yeah. Like who's doing this? Like what are you trying to do? Because by doing this, especially when it looks obvious and dumb like that did, it makes his case look stronger.
Exactly.
It's almost like something that he would do to attack himself.
Yeah.
Like that's like how Nero burnt Rome. You know, like you might do something like that, attack yourself so that you look vulnerable.
Do you think he did that?
Trump's-
No,
he's
I
not
don't.
That
I
true,
don't.
but what he's a great at is a counterpunch. I've been living in New York
Yes.
City during his entire reign of popularity. He's a great counterpuncher. So if something happens, even if you perceive it as bad for him, he knows how to work that.
That's what he talked about with Kanye West. When
And
he
I
was
saw-
talking about Kanye. He says,
And I
always
saw him do that
counterpunch.
every time. A friend would say, "Oh boy, this is really going to sink him," and I go, "Watch." I go, "No."
But you can't run a country like that. You can win an office, but you can't.
Who knows?
You
Who
can't
knows
be
what he's
yeah.
going
How
to
do
do?
you know? You
Who
don't
knows
know
what he's
that.
going to do?
Yeah,
I'm
we
just
don't know
super
that. He doesn't
curious.
He probably knows, but we don't know.
Yeah.
You know, if you're right about saying that he's never going to leave, then obviously that's going to become a problem. But if you're not right about it, and he does manage to show some flaws in the system and expose them,
Then it could be great. Sure, maybe
no one else is going to do it other than Bernie. If Bernie won, and obviously they were conspiring to keep Bernie out, but if Bernie won, we could have seen some really weird changes in the system.
Yeah, I think so.
And overall, like he would be a mood shifter.
Mm-hmm.
Like Bernie would be a guy that is like that's kind of what a lot of people are looking for. Someone who's not money oriented, someone who's like for the people, someone who lives a fairly simple life for a guy like that. Someone who's
Like
never
the Pope. When the Pope got in, you were like, "Oh, he cares about
Yeah.
the poor." Bernie was like the Pope. They became friends. The whole thing.
Yeah, like the Pope got rid of that throne. He went with a more
Casual dress.
Yeah, it's in a lot of ways like what Bernie would have represented. I think is someone who's not of the same cloth as we're used to. Someone who's like concerned about equality
But the
across the
system's
board.
broken
Above, and like
Systems broke. Yeah, sorry.
no, that's it. You're right. No, systems.
And
broken.
and then so instead of the guy who should or the woman who should or could have, you know, they're fighting the wrong game all the time. You know, Hillary was probably a great, smart person, but you know, you drift into distractions, and she's trying to.
But there's also
And then something weird happens, like the wiring goes haywire, and the guy who's the most popular at something completely different gets in there on a freak of nature.
he also I
kind
mean,
of thing.
this country's gone through in 50 years.
Now,
which
you
is
can't tell me
not
it's not amusing. It's
Right.
definitely amusing.
Yeah.
There's a little part of glee in your heart where it goes, what?
Yeah.
The Supreme Court it's like seeing the whole thing, you know.
Well, as comedians, it's, you know,
If you live long
I think
enough,
we all
you see
have
everything kind
something
of
to talk
thing.
about for the next 4 years.
It made everyone's life a lot more interesting all of a sudden.
But don't you think that there's a certain amount of intimidation about criticizing him?
Yeah.
Like there's some real intimidation that comes from him. He's a legitimate, powerful man.
Would you want to be on his enemies list?
No,
Fuck no.
no, it'd be
Never.
horrible. And everybody feels like that. And with great power comes great responsibility. And that's one of the things that people are really terrified of with a guy like that, because he's got
After I
so
ran
much
into
power
him.
and so much influence.
He didn't used to. He was a joke in a weird way to a lot of people. But I always knew that he could actually do things. Like when you see him in New York, you go, all of a sudden, you're like, holy shit, there's a tower there that was not there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People think he's willy-nilly, like shooting from the hip. He's patient. Builds buildings.
Yeah.
It's different.
When I grew up in New York, he was, when he was a celebrity in New York and not the country, he was just a slumlord. That's how we talked about him in my family. He was just a guy. He was a guy who had suits against him. He owned projects and it was pretty well known back then that he was a slumlord.
Yeah.
Twitter's a hobby for him. I think building is his occupation, and that's a really hard thing to do. I remember the skating ring popping up, and he was always talking about taking over swaths of land in New York. When you were lucky to get a little apartment somewhere, this guy was going to buy like the whole where the trains were, the subways used to be. It's like you were in all of that. You couldn't help it, even if you didn't. And his politics didn't emerge till much later. He just kind of kept it cool and was just like a playboy and a personality, and it was like a kick to see him around. He always loved a good joke. He was generous. So I get it. A lot of smart, rich New Yorkers. I'm not surprised. Some of the smartest, most successful people I know in New York supported him.
Do you think, though, that at the level of responsibility that you have when you become the president and the amount of power that you have, do you think that anybody can really manage that correctly?
Well, that's
It's
why
a
a bunch of people
ridiculous
around
position, and this one of the things is it's exposing. This is exposing how ridiculous the position is. That you could get someone who's just this one popular person that gets into place and run this entire thing. Like one person running anything is crazy.
Well, are we
One
overstating
person
how
running
much the
300
president
million
really
people.
runs?
Look what he's doing.
No, but I'm saying once you're in office, do you think the president has as much power as people?
We're going to find out. We're going to find out what kind of power he has. Because look what he's doing. Look what you're talking about with the press corps. Look what you're talking about with
You don't just get power. You
security.
accumulate power.
That's
He's accumulating leverage and power, and
by putting people around him
more
that
and
he
more
wants.
and more and
Fascinating.
more. He
Because,
can't
like,
operate without his family. He's always going to have his family around. It's like you don't just suddenly tell an IndyCar driver tomorrow you're driving a NASCAR. It's like he's been doing it a certain way, and that's how
But
he's gonna do it.
his son and his daughter, or his two sons, they can't advise him on policy because they're running his companies. They have to never have a conversation with him again about the businesses or politics.
Yeah, sure.
Come on. Come on.
That sounds so ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's just no fucking way.
But even if that's how it is, it's still his family.
Yeah.
But you know what?
That's so
I don't know.
weird that they won't let him
That's
talk to him about it.
He got it. He's going to be the richest guy in history. He's going to be
They say that Putin
mythical figure.
Do you hear about some oligarch that got arrested?
It's
Said
so
that
true.
he thinks Putin's the
Am
richest
I
guy in
wrong?
history.
No, dude.
Is it possible? I mean,
he will become.
you're going to bet against it? I
He'll
don't
become
think
bigger,
so.
larger than life. This will make him larger than life. It'll just be. He'll be like a fucking. It will be a myth.
If there's a huge scandal,
It's not going away. He's got a million kids and family.
I don't
and he'll
know.
be around
I
forever.
mean, if you think about what's come
Scandal
out in
makes
the
him
last
stronger.
year, I guess
Scandal makes
to
him
a point.
stronger. Billy Bush got fucking trampled on the bus thing. I think it just made him stronger.
Do you think if this whole story about the Russian prostitutes pissing on him got corroborated, do you think it would hurt him?
I read someone said
No.
that they thought he fucking started that shit. I was like, that's a fucking interesting angle. What if he was like,
Yeah,
run
that's
with
what
this
Joe was saying,
run
yeah.
with
That's
that
what I was
story.
just saying.
Yeah, like why
How
not?
high are you?
Yeah.
Hi.
Even if I don't think.
Well, I don't think that's the case, but I
but
do
he knows
think
how to
that
turn that stuff around pretty quick.
those attacks are foolish because you've already proven that he's Kevlar. Like you can, he got past grab the
There's
pussy.
no video.
Well, so then what are they? But then conversely, then what? Then you can't do anything. Then so what's the legitimate thing that you can come out about him? If you present real facts, they get kind of pushed away. If you present these crazy news stories, it just fuels the fire. So what do you do then?
It's a good question.
What does the opposition do? Because anything they come up with is either fake news to him or it's something crazy that makes people go, dude, how funny was that they pissed on that fucking bed that Obama. I mean, it just becomes then it becomes like a social bit.
The worst thing that could take place is that people decide while he's in power that he can't be in power. People decide that there can't be a president anymore. We've decided as a nation that we're going to abolish this and we're going to start a whole new system of government. That is where shit could get really crazy.
That would get crazy.
That's what Susan Sarandon wants.
Does she want that?
Yeah, she remember when he was running for president, she goes, maybe Trump should win because maybe it's time we do have a revolution in the streets. Maybe we need to change it. It's like, yeah, that's easy to say when you're on the fifth in a 5-story brownstone with guards. You know, not fucking living in the projects during a revolution.
It's harder for a rich person to say that. A poor person has nothing to lose and would call for revolution, but when a rich person does it, I think she's got something.
Or
do you think they'd be coming for her first?
Probably.
Yeah.
When I talked to Trump, somebody said, how'd you do that? He's like Hitler. I go, if he's Hitler, you'll be glad I'm friends with him because I'm going to, otherwise I'm giving up your fucking
schmoozing us in
home address.
Man. Well, it's bizarre too because he's actually like publicly in support of Putin, you know, and he talks about Putin being a smart guy.
He's a businessman, so he's talks with whoever he's been friends with.
Right.
That's how it works.
Whoever's had
None
his
of this
money.
should be taken away from him or a surprise. He'll figure all that out. But he can't pretend that these aren't his pals. And if you meet somebody famous once or twice and they're nice to you, that's all plus his stuff's deep, you know? He would go over there. He would bring TV shows there. All that stuff is, we're a client. We're another piece of commerce in his portfolio of how he does business. So when he picks up the phone and he knows some guy in Japan, of course he's going to mention his properties, and that's how he gets going. That's how he gets going.
What if that works? Really?
Well, that's what
if
Putin
that's
did.
a better system?
Yeah, Putin used government and private ownership to amass fortunes,
But
and
he's-
then get his friends' fortunes.
But it's almost going to take something like this to make people realize that this is a ridiculous system. I mean, otherwise we would never figure it out. We just still look for a better and better version of the
Maybe
impossible
it's a great
person.
system. Maybe we're all looking at it wrong. It's such that we've tested it. Anybody can become president.
Well, maybe it is a good system because it's got that, and it's got all the checks and balances in place. You know, I mean, maybe it is a good system because of all the bureaucracy.
You know, it's like something beyond politics and what's right and wrong. And
I've heard that argued before.
dynasty is not the right thing.
No.
So it's time for, civilization had a great run. What else you got?
Well, what's crazy is that if
It's as dark as it can fucking get. Jeff's out.
How much potential? See, here's the thing: there are wars going on right
Come
now.
on.
There's wars going on right now, and we'll
How
always
about
say,
a fucking waitress?
"Down here,
Fucking the war's going on. No drink.
But there's wars going on right now, but they're just not going on right here. Are we just naive? Are we naive to not understand the danger?
I think it might be coming.
yeah, I
You
think
really
we're pretty
think so?
naive.
Oh yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Really?
I do. Yeah. What would stop it at this point?
Dude.
I don't think
Like
anything
a war
is,
with Russia? Is
There
that what
aren't a
you're
lot of
thinking?
barriers. No.
No.
War
Who
with
the war
England
would
or
be?
France or Germany.
No. Why would we go to war with Germany or France or England?
Anything's possible. Leaking.
Well, also what you
Cyber
define,
warfare?
I mean, cyber
Yeah.
warfare is what it's all about. I mean,
just
we
throwing it
had
out there
natural
that
we
it-
had natural boundaries before, but now you see that they can hack into the FBI and the CIA and fucking
There's a known unknown now, and this don't presume anything.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a scenario.
Not saying it'll be so crazy, but
what would
I
be the
wouldn't presume
ideal
it's
way
not.
outside of a dictator? What would be the ideal way to run a nation? Like what would be better than having this one alpha that we keep putting in place? Which seems pretty ridiculous at this point. It seems like we might have fucked up and got a super alpha in there.
Well, I don't think that the framers of the Constitution didn't see the presidency as being such a big deal. He was kind of a lead administrator, but he wasn't supposed to be the be all end all
Right.
of power in this country.
And
So
that-
I think we probably want to ratchet that position down
That's
a
what
little
they
bit.
told the guy that they didn't give it to.
This is not even that cool of a thing.
Yeah, it's just a weekend
You
thing.
don't want to do that. Come on. You
coaching
want to
Little
get in
League.
there and write the laws, right? You don't want to be kissing babies
Yeah.
and go to photo op, sketch ops.
No.
I don't know what kind of photo ops they had back then.
Were you a Bernie supporter?
Sketch ops.
No, I was kind of a pragmatist about it. I wasn't a supporter of anybody except I'm pretty much I was against Trump winning.
So anybody but Trump type of thing, right?
Yeah, so I'd love to say like my wife was a big Bernie supporter. I would like to say I was, but I think I was betting on the best horse. But I thought it was the best
It was
horse.
actually, you didn't even make the bet, but you had a horse in mind.
Yeah.
And it didn't win. That's what it was like. Well, but you didn't lose any money.
Yeah, I mean, I can't sit here and say, for all the bad things I say about Trump, I can't sit here and tell you that I was passionate about Hillary or that I even like her. You know,
Right.
I just saw it as the lesser of two evils.
Yeah, you saw her as business as usual, not business way worse.
That's exactly
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
It seemed like it was just another thing to like woman president, huge, great, has the relationships that exist that we already know. So you're like, okay. It was almost like, yeah, the assistant coach has been there for a while. Just, yeah, do that. Like that's what it felt like in my brain that was going to happen. But I gotta say, I was shooting the night that people were watching it, and of course we're here in Los Angeles. Like fucking, not one of those crew members isn't hardcore left, and watch people watching it on their phones, and like the reactions were like complete confusion. It was crazy to watch from this perspective, and I wonder what it was like watching from like Michigan. Do you know what I mean?
Greg and I did a live podcast.
Oh, yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah, we did a live podcast with Burr and Stanhope and Bert Kreischer.
Oh, I saw it on YouTube after. That's right. I saw that.
It
Yeah, I
was
saw that.
chaos.
It
was
is
just
chaos.
so straight.
I
It was
bailed.
so
I couldn't handle it.
crazy.
Well, because first of all, they're fucking they're passing joints around the whole time, and I thought this is a celebration party. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't realize I was going to go into the most confusing moment of my life high, and I just bailed. As soon as it
Sometimes you
looked
gotta
like it
bail.
was going to Trump, I just like all of a sudden I looked up and Joe's fucking laughing and Stanhope is carrying on. I'm like, there's nothing funny anymore.
Yeah, no, it's over.
And I just went and I sat in my car in front of my house for like 2 hours.
wow.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, dude, you're bumming me out.
I
Okay,
know.
listen.
We were having fun.
I know you were. You guys were having fun.
It was just Burr killing.
Yeah.
For like
Yeah.
4 hours.
Yeah,
you know?
he was on fire
Burr was
that
on
night.
Fire. He
Yeah.
was on fire. And then when weed became legal and Burr took a hit,
Yeah.
he doesn't smoke pot. He went right in there. It was
The
amazing.
whole fucking room. Somebody came out from Bert Kreischer, I think, came from the back and he announced that pot was now legal in California. And 3 out of 4 people in the audience immediately lit up, and there was a cloud of smoke that just took over the room.
This is the
Huge.
photo from the actual moment.
Fuck.
So Troy Conrads took this photo of the moment. Bert
Wow.
takes his shirt off. Bert's running around, and there's all these people in the front row. We're all go crazy right here. Everyone's going crazy. That's the very moment where we found out that pot was legal in California. We were doing a live podcast from the main room. Jeff Ross just walked back in. But yeah, Troy
The other
Conrads
crazy
took that
thing is
picture.
that Doug Stanhope's girlfriend at the time, or still, but she was in a coma at the time.
She's not anymore.
It got more
she's
depressing
thankfully
since
she's
I went to
healthy.
the bathroom.
It was just
No, we
crazy that
actually
Doug
were-
powered through.
We're going. Wait
know.
to hear what's next, Jeff.
Doug's a fucking trooper, man. Not many people would have powered through right there. Doug, he's a special
talked
human.
about it.
Doug Stanhope is a special human. I've known that guy for a long time, man. He's the real deal. I
Yeah.
mean, he actually did move to Bisbee, Arizona, and essentially start like a whole community of weirdos that live down there and hang out and work with him and do podcasts with him, and you know, he's kind of using the podcast as like an open mic. That's how he rants, and that's how he's coming up with material. His whole setup is very interesting, man.
Sounds
like,
cool.
yeah, he's
Yeah.
the real deal.
He told you
know?
about it, or you
Oh
saw
yeah,
it?
I've
or-
listened to it. I've listened to it a bunch of times. His podcast is awesome, but he's like a real estate mogul in his fucking town.
Get out of here.
Yeah, he owns a bunch of houses. When houses go up for sale, he buys them.
Yeah.
They're all
They're
like $4
50
grand.
and
Yeah.
shit like that. He owns a ton of
Ton of
houses.
them.
Wow.
He was telling me about it. He's fucking buying the town. He's going to be the Trump of Bisbee, Arizona. That's what he's going to be. Doug Stanhope's got, I own this town. He's going to be like the bad guy in Roadhouse. Remember the bad guy? I own this town. telling you. That's what Stanhope's going to do.
Everybody will have to dress like him.
I'm telling you, I'm thinking about moving there. Sometimes I think
living
about
there.
moving there. I'm like,
Yeah.
why not? Let's fucking join them. He's 7 miles away from Mexico.
Yeah?
If shit gets weird, you go left, you go right. Pick your poison. What do you want to do? With drug cartels or rednecks? What do you want to do? Where do you want to go?
Yeah.
He's got a weird spot, man. They see people like when you're near the border like that. You see families coming over. Like I've talked to dudes who've been hunting in Arizona, and there's areas that they avoid because too many people are coming over the border and they walk, and they'll even put things on their shoes, like big chunks of carpet, and they tie them down to their shoes so that they don't make any footprints.
The hunters?
No, the fucking
people that are
Mexicans.
coming over.
Mexicans coming over from the border. Like they'll wear things on their feet so that they don't leave obvious tracks. It's really, he's like, it's crazy. And I know guys that have seen them down there and run into them. It's like a super common thing.
Wow.
So like there is a trickle of people that
It's
are
also pretty comfortable because it would be like running across the border on a carpeted area.
high class.
They did it for comfort. It just so happened to cover up
A lot of
the
those
tracks.
folks die. A lot of those folks go over and they get dehydrated. They don't have enough water, and they get stuck in the desert. If they try to come over like in July and August, like you could get fucked.
Yeah,
It
in
could be-
southern Arizona. Yeah,
If somebody doesn't pick you up, there's supposed to be someone to come and pick you up. I mean, they have like this whole system, I guess, set up how they get people over here. It's kind of crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of crazy that we have like this boundary in the dirt that we decide if you're born over there, you're fucked.
You stay over there.
You're born over here. You're on our team. I mean, it's all they're just. If you pull back from it and you look at this connection between Mexico and the United States, it's like it's a landmass.
Yeah.
It's one landmass. Like Mexico is physically connected to us. It's a part of us. If we were a being, that would be like being at war with our foot or not letting our foot come in the shower. No, you can't wash. I'm going to wash the whole body. Like this is a part of the entire this thing. Like to break it off into these imaginary lines in the sand is no different than us telling Seattle they have to go fuck themselves. No one from Seattle can come over. It's the same thing. It's just they don't, they obviously aren't under our Constitution or our laws or any of that thing, but they're connected to us. They're literally a part of us. They're right there.
But it's like what you said before about tribalism. It's just so deep.
Crazy.
It's random and yet it's deep, like a sports team. It's like any guy can get traded any given year, but you're still going to cheer for that fucking color uniform.
Of course.
Even though like a fight, like the Mets in '86 after they won the World Series, they fucking traded everybody off and they weren't the Mets anymore, but people were still like, wearing the jerseys and cheering.
Yeah, here's the question. Like, how do you stop something like that?
Well, the hope was globalism would, that with all of us having access to the internet in our pockets, with the same as people from India, that there would be this, the people had this amazing image of all the walls falling down, but that's not. Doesn't seem to be happening. Do you think?
Because we're getting more connected, but culture means a lot to people, and they're going to keep it, and that identifies them with who they are. So they're never going to get rid of that and just become super. Otherwise, the westernization of the world would just be them all being us. I mean, what's the end answer? It's like everyone should be the same, but most places you go around the world that are westernized, quote unquote, that are globalized, it looks like us.
Yeah, but I mean, we know for a fact that like Apple goes to China and pays people pennies, and they have nets all around the buildings where these people live and work.
jump.
They have dormitories, and they cover them with nets. We know about Foxconn. We know that story. So we know, and we still buy these fucking phones. I didn't even
They
think
are
twice.
great. They're
I didn't
really
even think
good.
twice. I'm like, those fucking jumpers make a hell of a phone.
Wait, put the
Bless
phone
a
down
little-
before you jump.
Breast a little $1 an hour hearts or whatever
Yeah.
the fuck they get paid. And we accept that. And we accept that not just in China, but all throughout South America. There's a bunch of different factories that employ people that pay them pennies compared to what they would have to pay the same person in America.
So what are you
And
saying
they
that
do
we
it to
care
justify-
less about them because they're not Americans?
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah, we literally allow people to give them slave wages. Well, we would consider slave wages. Like if someone took a guy like you and made you work for what
$15 a
someone
night?
at, the blah, blah, blah factory that makes, fucking jeans or sneakers or whatever the fuck they make. If they made you work for that amount, you would think you were in jail.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, I have to live off of this? These people control me. They own me. They have paralyzed me with poverty. Like there's no way I'll ever be able to escape this. And the only argument against it is, well, the quality of their life is much better than it was before the factory got there. Before the factory got there, nobody made any money at all because they were eating coconuts and mangoes and they were catching fish.
Yeah.
Like they didn't need any money. Like you made them work. There's a lot of these places where you're setting up shop. Like they've been there for thousands and thousands of years.
Yeah.
They didn't need the factory. It's maybe the factory's nice to them. Maybe it is good. Maybe it does. Maybe they do become dependent upon it over time. But people have existed everywhere, all over the planet without factories for a long fucking time.
Yeah.
You don't need that factory. There's a lot of other solutions. It's not an either or proposition. Like either the factory's there or they never get their shit together. Like no, that's not the case. Like they could develop their own culture and society just like the United States did. But if you just make them in prison to these factories where they get paid slave wages in these foreign third world countries that we don't care about as much as we care about Detroit or we care about Chicago or we care about places that are just like that place connected to us.
Yeah. Well,
I'm a commie or something, right?
Jesus.
It's goddamn commie talk.
You're real. It's realist.
It's gross. The whole thing of not letting those people over here is gross. You're going to end it eventually. Like, when are you going to keep it like that for 1,000,000 years? 1,000,000 years from now, we're going to have states and you can't cross. You can't immigrate from Mexico. So 1,000,000 years from now, we're still going to have deep poverty in Mexico and we're terrified of the drug war and leaking over our soil. Is that what's going to go on 1,000,000 years from now? No, we're going to be one united planet, one super organism that can read each other's mind.
The Federation.
The corporation.
This is
The corporation.
This is a hiccup along a gigantic trail that leads from us throwing shit at each other from a tree to us being able to transcend literal space and time, become a part of some artificially created dimension that they establish. That's 100 years from now or 200 years from now. This is this whole thing we're going through right now is a blip in time. And it's also a challenge to how much technology really connects us. It's like this guy's going to present a lot of challenges as to like how much technology can unite human beings.
Well, the problem is, and you and I were talking earlier about what's the law called again?
Moore's Law.
Moore's Law, that every 2 years, the speed of computers and the memory of computers doubles. And that's held true since the guy came up with the law, which was in like 1960.
That's the name of it, right, Jamie? Moore's Law? Thank you.
And
Tell me that thing, yeah.
And the problem with it is, I'm reading this book right now about it, and the problem with it is that we can't keep up culturally, emotionally, legally with how fast information is traveling and how, like you said, it's become everybody has access to the same information. But it's also just, the ramifications of, corporations being able to get into your information. Like, we don't have laws in place that can really tackle that because it's happening so fast. You look at Airbnb. We didn't have laws in place for people renting out their places, all paying taxes on using your own car to drive people as a taxi. We're like one step behind progress, and we're going to stay that way because it's happening so fast.
I saw a taxi today and I went, wow, this is going to be like one of those payphones.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this car. This guy's driving. I'm like, this is going to be a payphone. People are just going to have Priuses, and they're going to people are going to take Uber, and it's better.
What's happening in big cities is Uber started replacing the cabs, making it tough for cabs and probably buses and private limos, certainly. Now it's starting to cut into cars. People are not needing a car in major cities in L.A.
And it cuts out all that drinking and driving shit. I
haven't
watched
had a
some
car
guy
in 2
slam into a
years.
fucking barrier last night.
No.
Yeah. I was driving home last night, and there was this guy driving home from the ice house. There's this guy to the left of me, and he was speeding, and he was flying by me, man, and he was losing control of his car a little bit, just a little bit. Like, it was just like, he was just wiggling a little. It was wet. The roads were wet, and this guy was just driving way too fast. He's probably hydroplaning. And I said, this guy's just not keeping it together good. He might be drunk or whatever. So I pull over 2 lanes. I give him some space, and a minute after I do that, bang! He hits the fucking side, the cement barrier, spins out, corrects, spins again, fucked his car up.
No shit. And then just came to a standstill in the middle of the highway?
Yep, came to a stop in the left lane. Yeah, to turn in the right direction, fortunately. His car was fucked up, for sure. He might not have been able to drive, but he was at least looking that way. Because sometimes dudes wind up sideways. And when you wind up sideways on the highway, you're fucked. Because not everybody's going to see you. And it doesn't look like rear tail lights. So you're not getting the same kind of reflection that you get if you saw taillights. Even a guy who stopped in front of you, you saw those taillights, you would know, oh, there's a car there. Like sometimes when people are not totally paying attention and there's a car that's sideways parked on the road, like, dude, I watched that happen once. I was in New York, and I was coming home from a gig with my friend John, and we were driving, and there was a car that was stopped dead in the left lane, and it had hazard lights on, but the hazard lights were dying. They were like super dim. There was no battery juice, and I saw it, and I changed lanes quick, but not that far away from it. Like, I barely missed it. I missed it by, like, I don't know, 50 yards or something like that. Close enough where it was like, holy shit. And then I look in my rear view, and this guy plows into it at full speed. And I see the cars in my rear view as I'm driving. I see them spinning in the rear view mirror. And I realize, like, people are probably dying back there. I'm looking at dead people because they hit that thing going 70 miles an hour. Just slammed into it. And everything's spinning around.
I used to have visions of a car crash. It's so scary.
I had a
Have you ever
guy.
been in a bad car accident?
I've been banged around and spun around, mostly when I was, old tires as a teenager, and then.
But not like a fucking wreck.
I got in a couple smaller, not too bad wrecks as a comedian. Trying to drive. Drive drive home in the snow and shit because I didn't want to pay for a hotel. Dumb stuff.
I was running late
Blizzards.
at night, and I saw that car. There was a really bad car accident 2 months ago on Fountain, where a girl was fucking shit faced, and people always fly home on Fountain because there's it's fast. There's no lights, and a girl must have clipped a curb and then jetted to the other side, like the fucking other side of the road. I mean, and missed parked cars, which was insane, and smashed into one of those concrete walls on the corner. You know what I mean? The apartments have those concrete fucking huge wall. I mean, it looked like a fucking bulldozer ran into it going 50. You know what I mean? It was like a million pieces. I mean, there was shit like 2 blocks up. It was unfucking real.
God, when you see someone really hit something with a car, you realize how crazy car travel is and how those autonomous cars are like the future. You're not going to be able to argue against it.
Right, because it takes, we've all been, I've fallen asleep at the wheel on the highway at night. I used to drive from Boston back to New York. Saturday night, I would do 2 shows. Then I'd get in my car wherever the fuck I was, and I would drive to New York that night. And I can remember windows open, singing as loud as I could, just because I would close my eyes and I would fucking wake up on the shoulder. It was crazy. I think about how many times I could have died. And I remember when I was a teenager, there was this 69 Cougar that I was going to buy from this kid named Billy Arduino. And it was a muscle car, and he had it fucking jacked up. He was a motorhead. And I was going to buy this
Steven
car.
Arduino. Where was he from?
Tarrytown.
The Arduinos.
And so this other kid bought it. And I'm driving down Route 9, right in front of the hospital. It's a 2-lane road, but it goes like 50 miles an hour. And I see the car, and it's driving in front of me. And there's a light rain. And I see him. I don't know what the fuck happened, but he started going back and forth.
Fishtailing.
He fishtail. I think he was gunning it because he saw me and he was trying to be a badass.
Yeah.
Went in the opposite lane, hit this mother and kid fucking head on.
Oh.
And to this day, I can remember the smell of burnt rubber and oil. Like it happened like right in front of me. And The woman was hospitalized. Somehow the kid was okay. And this fat fuck just got right out of the car.
Yeah, and nothing happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, like chipped a tooth.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you see people driving really fucked up, man. There was I passed by this one of those power boxes, whatever it is. You know those things that are on the corner, and it had all these wreaths on it, and all this in memory of this person. And then I looked up the story, and it was 2 kids. They were racing down the road, and some lady pulled out, and they clipped the lady and spun her car around, but didn't hurt her, and went straight into a pole and just died.
My best friend's handicapped from doing the exact same thing.
Really?
High school buddy.
He was
I just
racing?
spent 2 years with him. Yeah.
Wow.
So
He
be
just went into a
careful
pole?
out there, kids.
So fucking scary, and being
The other 3
competitive-
guys in the car walked away.
being competitive like that on regular streets and racing with people is so fucking dangerous. So dangerous.
That's like you see those painted bikes that are chained to poles that represent bikers that died. I mean, there's a few.
Oh, is that what that is?
Well, LA doesn't really have a lot of it. In Chicago, it's big. Where I'm from, it's a big thing of like commuter bikes, passenger bikes, and messengers. They get hit all the fucking time, and then when they die, they spray paint it white, and then they chain it to the pole at the intersection. And my mom was saying it was like, she said, fucking 1 year, it was almost like every other block she was driving down. It was like, there's another bike, it's another bike. Because people are fucking drunk as shit. Don't give a fuck. Clip some guy that's riding his bike home from work or some shit.
It's a commitment to go, I'm going to ride a motorcycle. You got to really buy into it because your odds of dying just go up exponentially from driving a car.
What are your odds of dying more? A bicycle or a motorcycle?
Bye.
That's it. Sorry, dude. You're right. I'm Debbie Downer.
I'm trying to.
I've been looking at Jeff
Joe's
all
got
night.
the reins and he's taking us down, and we're going
I
deep
did not
down.
mean to. I did not mean to.
I don't want to cry.
I'm glad you corrected me.
I don't want to cry on your fucking podcast.
I'm glad you corrected me. Thank
If you want me to cry,
No, you're
don't
right.
air it live.
You're right.
He needs a couple of days.
You're right.
I'm not the first comic to cry in the basement of the Comedy Store.
Oh, definitely not.
Hey.
Yeah, definitely not. You're probably the first that didn't really do anything horrible, though.
Yeah.
I came down here. Adam brought me down here. There's like a back room over there with just like storage shit in it. And you know what I found?
What?
I found Pauly Shore's original script of In the Army Now with his acting notes to himself in it. Like one of them was like, be the Weezer.
Weasel.
Be the Weasel.
The Weezer.
Be the
Weezer's
Weezer.
a band.
Be that band. They got some
Be
great
Weezer.
hits.
Be Weezer.
But like the whole script he had marked up with all his acting notes.
Did you? I would have taken
I
that.
fucking tried.
Well,
He
I
wouldn't
would have
let me.
taken
He
that.
wouldn't
Oh,
let me
Adam was
take
with
it?
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. This place is, one of the most, if you believe in ghosts, one of the most notoriously haunted places in all of California, maybe in the country, because it used to be Ciro's
I
nightclub.
believe in ghosts. I saw Yakov Smirnoff here the other day.
Ah!
A lot of killings happen here, right? It was a mob place.
Allegedly.
I killed tonight. Roast battles. Big taping tomorrow.
3
Oh,
nights,
yeah.
right?
Invited.
Is it all sold out?
I don't know. Roastbattletickets.com. Maybe the finale might not be. That's next week.
Now, when you do these things, do you open up tickets to the public?
Yeah, they're free tickets.
Oh, wow.
Roastbattletickets.com is how to sign up.
Oh, that's awesome.
You're all
man.
invited. And then it'll air January 26, 27, 28, 29. It's a bracketed tournament. 16 comics. A lot of people from right here in L.A. Comedy Store people. A couple people who work here, like answering phones. Jay Light, Frank Castillo, Alex Hooper. A lot of L.A. comics from here in the Comedy Store. Todd Barry's doing it.
Oh, he is doing
he
it.
is?
Wow.
Wow.
Who's he going against?
He's
Jessica
awesome.
Curson.
He's fucking funny, man. It's
gonna be
Todd
crazy.
Barry's one of the most underappreciated guys working today. He's a fucking funny guy.
He's
man.
funny as shit.
So Lawrence holds the belt, right?
Yeah.
And does he get challenged?
I think he's going to challenge whoever wins this tournament.
There's so many funny up and coming comedians, and that is one of the best places for them to expose or to get exposure.
Some of them are already barely comedians, and roast battle like helps them figure that out.
Yeah, they're just starting out.
Find their voice through those roast jokes.
And some of them are
Like we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the jokes that they write, I'm fucking blown away. Every time I sit in and judge it, I'm like, I'll say to them afterwards, how long did you write those jokes for? They'll be like, 3 months. Like, they literally write for a month for one roast battle.
Two of the roasters told me they have to bracket up on their wall, and they're writing ahead in case they advance or from when they advance.
Well, you guys have always
Hey,
said it
Ford.
best. It's a joke writer showcase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such an important thing in comedy right now.
Dude.
Love that. Thank you.
It is, dude. You need to have that world exist for people in a world right now where PC and people on their toes and who knows what to say what all the time, and that's such a fucking deal now. I'm so happy that that is still being represented in the comedy world because it fucking lightens everything. It makes everything, all the voices shut the fuck up and enjoy two people making fun of each other.
Yeah. But
It's like the most clean thing that we need in entertainment, and especially for comedy. Because, dude, right now I feel like you're on tippy toes sometimes when you do shows in places, and you're like, what are these people going to get offended by? And that fucking there's.
Well, what's so weird is that when we were coming up, like I know Joe and I were really into Bill Hicks, and like I didn't necessarily agree with everything about his politics. Certainly with Kinnison, I didn't believe in any of his politics, but I fucking loved him.
Yeah.
And now, as a comedian, the crowd has an expectation that they have to agree with you.
Yes.
And that they'll actually yell out if they disagree. It's like, that's not an option.
I had
Laugh
that
or shut the fuck up.
I had that last night. Guy's like, not funny.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're going to have that. And they feel like they have the right now because they're so used to commenting on things.
Yeah.
They're so used to commenting on things
What's
on
great about
social
roast
media.
battle? You could troll people.
That's what it is.
Roast battle.
YouTube comments.
We don't troll on the internet. We troll to each other's faces.
Yeah, well, no, that's a different
It's so
animal.
good.
Look, roast battle's so beautiful because it's a pure competition. It's like, Mike is so doom, and then, oh, shit, and then here we go, counter. Like, it's like you're playing a game. Dut, 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 and sometimes the ball goes out of bounds, and sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes you hit net, and sometimes you fucking smash it right in their face. I mean, it really is.
But less people.
Amazing in that
I
way.
would say you're more apt to win if you go harder, right? I mean, there's not too many people that lose by going too far, is there?
No.
No.
Never.
That's
No,
the
it's-
fucking best ones
yeah.
I've ever seen are
Yeah.
people that just
No, people
go,
are nervous.
as long as
Yeah.
it's funny. But what's really weird is when someone goes super mean and it's not funny.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
becomes
And you're like,
awkward.
ooh.
Yeah.
But even that's beautiful to see. I love that
Even
shit.
that's sort of entertaining, yeah.
Of course.
Yeah, sort of.
They don't win, but it's good, fun entertainment.
Thank
Well, it's
God- yeah.
squirmy.
Thank God the audience knows that failure in comedy is still a thing that's not just like everything's not just a special prefabricated a late night set. I think a lot of people, because they only see comedy in that way, they see specials on Netflix, they see late night sets, things that are tight and are formula that have been practiced.
Yeah.
That when they come see live comedy,
I know.
an inch of any sort of faltering, and they're like, "What?
Well, let me
Are
ask
you
you
not
this.
a pro?"
Yeah.
It's like,
And Santino, you're about to release your Netflix special,
no,
right?
Showtime, on Showtime.
Oh,
Yeah,
Showtime.
on Showtime.
So
yeah.
when that comes out, do you abandon your material now?
I mean, I've already started to implement a bunch of new stuff and do both right now
Right.
before it even comes out, just because I'm trying to get in the habit. But yeah, I mean, I think so. I mean, that's a personal thing. I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do it, but I think I'm trying to get rid of that stuff and try all new stuff.
I'm going to stop doing your shit probably in a couple weeks.
I'm hoping. But you do it so much better. That's the problem. That's why I sit and watch you do me after. No, yeah, I'm trying to abandon it. I think, but I don't. I'm not trying to do a special every year type of thing. I don't think that's for me. I know that that's like the new thing, but I don't.
I think even Louise backed off of that.
I mean, a lot of people have that aspiration of like, I'll do one every fucking year, and I'm always like, what for though?
Well, wait to see what kind of year you have.
Yeah.
I mean, I have years where I
world
write
has.
like a motherfucker, and I have years where I'm like, I'll look at a set list on my computer that says like, January 2016, and I look at it recently, I'm like, wow, this is not that different than what I'm doing now. Like, I see a bunch of stuff I tried that didn't work.
Right.
And then I have years where, I will come up with close to an hour.
This is going to be the year where every comedy, the Trump, that's the one thing, every comic will have 3 specials.
Yeah, right.
I want everyone to have 3.
Everyone's going to get 3.
Dude, you can do Trump.
A little, just a
Let me
little
hear.
bit.
Give me a little something. I heard it.
I like Joe Rogan. Joe's good. You know what? He's a fighter. That's why I like fighters. He's a fighter. I like fighters.
That's not bad.
It's
Yeah.
good, except you got to get the R out of there on the New York accent.
Yeah, yeah,
Fight,
yeah, yeah.
You're close enough.
Fighter.
Yeah.
You're like
Yeah.
almost
Where are you
there.
from?
Chicago.
Oh.
Chi-town.
You could do this. Like, I can't do his voice. I can't make that sound. Like, I can imitate certain people's voices, but I have a very limited range.
Yeah.
You know, like the people I could do good, but I can't do him.
Someone was saying how hard, like Trump was almost so quote unquote simple that like that's why anybody that comes on SNL and there's people can just there's a lot of people that can do the impression, but they were saying how hard Hillary was, which I get. I didn't really think about it, but I was like, oh yeah, she's such a fucking hard voice to imitate. Do you know what I mean? Like it's such a Trump is. That's another reason it's so cartoonishly perfect that you're like anybody who can do a voice like that is going to get.
Well, and Bernie was
compared
easy
to.
as hell.
Oh my god,
He's just an old Jew.
it just was Larry David.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bernie was the
the
easy.
same
We're going to have
fucking guy.
political revolution, and then we're going out for soup.
We're going out for soup.
Everybody pays for their own soup.
He's like Jackie Mason a little bit.
Hey,
Hey,
listen, kid. That's what he said to the Pope. I met the Pope. I said, listen, kid. You're doing a great job with the Catholics.
Did you see him today? He was doing that. He did something today or yesterday.
Who?
Bernie Sanders, where he's grilling the guy.
I was at the Senate confirmation hearings,
Yeah.
trying to make some sense of all of this. I don't know. I put the thing in the link in the
thing in the movement,
And then we'll get soup.
Trump's bringing in this guy that's kind of a climate change denier.
Yes.
So you're telling me that you're
Skeptical.
responsible for the climate? You don't even know if it's raining out, and you're fucking you.
I shouldn't necessarily
wife
say
about the climate. It's
he's
hot,
a
it's
climate
cold.
change denier. He's a skeptic to the science.
You think it's true, you deny it. You think it's true, you deny it. What's the truth?
Let's get soup.
Let's get some soup. You still owe me $2 for that split piece.
He's got a tab at Cantor's. He's
Listen,
I'm going to my Cantus tab.
how's the Locust tonight, baby?
I would love to have an
Maybe
old
2
Jew
half and half
president.
cookies
You
to
know,
go.
they're so nurturing.
Great. Well,
Want you to
he
eat?
is. He seems like a genuinely nice guy.
Yeah.
who's that?
Bernie Sanders.
He seems like yeah, he does. He does.
To me, he does. He seems like a
with
genuinely
balls.
nice guy.
But,
Yeah.
but don't we know that anybody who has kind of the audacity and fucking self-indulgence to want to be president is also behind that?
True.
Fucking crazy. A fucking crazy person.
Yeah, I think
I'm sure he's a nice person.
I was there for the right reasons. I beg to differ. I
Bernie.
spent 22 years in the Senate. I
But
was
you-
mayor of my town of Vermont.
Or isn't it possible that someone could not want to be president until they realize that the country's back is up against the wall, and that's when he finally ran? Isn't it? It is possible that
Sure.
he realized there was no hope on the horizon for the status quo or this new thing, this Trump thing, and he's like, maybe I'll go.
Do you think had the DNC not fucking strategically shoved Hillary Clinton in front of him, if he had fucking won, do you think he could have beat Trump?
That's an you know, it's just an open speculation.
Would the
Who knows
banks
how
have
it would
allowed
play
him to
out?
win?
Who knows how it would have played out?
I'm
It's
so
not something I'm-
fucking curious to see that. I would
It's
love
not
to.
something I'm prepared to discuss at this time.
But would you think you would have won, Bernie, or what? You think you would have fucking beat Trump?
I think I would have given him a run for his money. I think I would have won in the key states.
What key states do you think you would have beat him in?
I think I would have won in.
You think Michigan you would have taken
I
down?
think head to head, I would have been very competitive with the Trump campaign.
Oh wow!
I think we're both outsiders.
Right? Definitely.
You should do your Trump impression now, and you guys should duel.
Listen, I'm sorry, Mr. President, I can't accept your presidency. I'm stepping out of government. I'm taking a job at Goldman Sachs. I need to make some money.
You're welcome. That's what I would say. You're welcome. I think I've done for you more than you've ever done for me. So you're welcome. You want to make college free? You want to make college free? I'm going to charge 4 times for college. 4 times more debt.
Mr.
More
Trump, I
debt.
beg your pardon.
Don't beg me. Don't beg me. Don't
What's,
beg
what's
me.
in those tax returns?
I'm not going to show you my tax
Some
return. I don't
undisclosed
need to show
payments
you.
to your barber? I don't think so.
My stylist does what he does she does very well. I have a trans stylist, by the way. I have a trans stylist. You want to talk about trans culture? I have trans stylists. Okay, don't tell me I don't like the LGBTQ community.
I'm very low budget. I'm working on I care more about the important things in life.
You look like you shop at the dollar store. It's pathetic.
I tried the Trump steaks. They were harder to digest than your foreign policy.
Trump steaks are delicious. Don't listen to that. They're better than Omaha steaks. Don't listen to that. We have premium cows. Our cows are beautiful. They're shipped over from California.
I don't appreciate your racist comments that you've made in the past.
I'm not racist. I'm racial. I'm racial.
Making fun of people with disabilities.
Oh, what? I can't mock a retard anymore? What's the news coming to today? I can't do that. I can't sit up there and jiggle my wrist like we used to when we were 7. Screw you, Bern. I'm going to mock a tard once in a while. Get used to it, America.
Whoa.
That's legitimately what that was legit. What would come out of his fucking brain?
Yeah.
That's for sure. And you know what? That would be fed live to America, an argument between those two, and fucking his fans would love it even more.
Yeah.
Like, he's right, he should mock fucking read. Fine. Fun. That's what my buddy said to his mom. He was like, she was a diehard Trump supporter, and he said, justify seriously to me. Justify how he could mock a handicapped person. Just tell me what's the fucking spin on that? He said it wasn't because he was just watch it once.
Yeah.
Volume off, watch it once. No one in the world, if someone who speaks no English and doesn't understand our culture would go, well, they're probably making fun of, it looks like they're making a character of somebody. It's just,
there was this kid who was a comedian.
But you know, he does that about everybody that he thinks is flustered. There's like a whole series.
I saw that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like every time he thinks he goes, ugh, he does that when no one knows what they're doing. Oh, and he's trying to figure this out.
Yeah.
He literally, that's his thing that he does. When I'm not defending him, but the real fact is he always does that.
Right. They showed video of them looping, but specifically he did like this arm thing like that.
Yeah,
I just
it
feel
was
like
more specific.
It was
a little
pretty
more extra.
Yeah, it was definitely like wrists banging against each other, kind of a move.
He does this in some of them open handy, and then this was kind of like, I mean, it was just like what when you were a punk kid in 3rd grade or 4th grade were doing to each other, mocking shit. It was like so obvious that's what it was.
There was this comic, and you guys probably wouldn't even remember him, but he was an LA comic, one of those guys that was just always around, and you never really saw him go on stage much.
Earl Skakel.
And he had these giant front teeth and like a receded upper lip, so that his teeth just like jutted out. And I'm talking to him, and I don't know what the fuck was going through my mind, but subconsciously I like curled my lip up above my teeth, and then he just looked at me and he goes, "Oh, that's really funny. That's really." And I realized like in a second that I was doing it.
Right.
And I was so fucking embarrassed. I didn't know what to say.
God.
It's kind of like when someone's like, when someone's twitching, you just naturally just do it with them for some reason.
I think it's a monkey response. Monkey see, monkey do. It's like subconscious.
Yawns? Like when someone yawns and you start yawning?
Right.
Holy shit.
Or when someone has a fucking thing on their face, you just kind of even feel it on your face. Do you know what I mean? It's not there, but you start to like feel it on your own face, and then you got to go, dude, you got that thing.
What are you doing, Jeff Ross?
Somebody knocked.
Somebody knocked?
There was no one there.
There was no one there.
Shit.
Someone knocked.
I gotta go anyway. This is so
Jeff,
fun.
this has been a blast.
I came in an hour before these.
You were the first ever on a live podcast.
Had a great time.
From the Comedy Store.
Had a big day. I want to rest.
Yeah, you had a lot of shit going on
here. And you got big
here.
shows. Tomorrow's when you tape, right?
First
so,
day.
one more time for everybody. Roast Battle.
January 26, 27, 28, 29 on Comedy Central. Going to be great. John Mayer, Sarah Silverman, Jason Sudeikis, Snoop Dogg, Jezelnik,
Beautiful.
Whitney.
Beautiful. All live on Comedy Central.
You're in the sizzle reel that opens the show.
I'm so proud.
Nice.
It's really fun.
Andrew Santino, your Showtime special.
What's it called?
It's called Home Field Advantage. I did it in Chicago at the theater.
Are you from?
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. You already said that.
Yeah.
When you were talking about the accent, I forgot.
Yeah. And I did it in the theater that I used to go watch bands in when I was in high school. It was such a fucking surreal thing.
That's fucking awesome.
It was fucking
beautiful.
wild.
When is it out?
See you, man.
June. It'll be out in June.
June. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Powerful Jeff Ross. Greg Fitzsimmons, Fitzdog Radio podcast.
Tour dates coming up: Tacoma,
Whoa.
Austin, Tampa, Phoenix. I'll be coming to Phoenix. Go to fitzdog.com. Lot of shows
Powerful
this winter.
Fitz dog. What's that?
Yeah.
We should play poker down here sometime.
I know.
Okay. Yeah. Well, live poker game. Like a live
Live
poker
poker
podcast.
podcast. Yeah.
That'd be perfect for that. I don't know how to play. It'd be awesome.
Well, that camera, you stick it in the middle of the table and you
play
can see
terrible.
everybody playing.
You should decorate this and fucking
Get an air conditioner.
Yeah, we could do some shit to this room. This room's pretty badass. It's cool that they have it.
Because you could also like open it up to like a little bit of a. It's like nice and cool down here.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, this is a good spot. It's cool.
If you have this door open and that door open, you can kind of hear the show
Yeah.
in the background.
Well, you could definitely hear we could still hear the piano.
We got to
from the back.
get a TV down here. We can see what's going on
We
on the
could.
stages.
We could get a monitor and
Yeah.
watch everybody.
That would be fun.
Yeah,
That would be so fun.
Yeah, we could easily do that.
Like Mystery Science Theater
Yeah.
comics that we know.
Yeah, that's not like rocket
Oh.
science. Jeff, thanks, buddy. Thank you. Always a pleasure,
See
my
you, man.
friend. Although I
I'm
gave
gonna come
you,
by tomorrow.
I gave you a dainty, womanly handshake there. It was like,
Pleasure doing podcasts with you.
man shake. Thank you, sir. And
Later, dude.
Greg, where can people get a hold of your shit?
Fitzdog.com, baby.
Fitzdog.com and Greg Fitz Radio is your Twitter, right?
Fitzdog. Radio.
Well, that's it, folks. You have been witness to the very first ever, and it went into the 20th, so it's an inauguration podcast in a lot of
Huge.
ways.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, because we're here.
Yeah.
It's the 20th. And that's it, you fucks. First time ever. Comedy Store live podcast. We'll do it again. It was fun. It was fucking awesome. Yeah, it's a cool idea, right?